to another time over here at Clown Gaming. Yeah, that intro didn't go so well. I
That
am
went
Allrum,
perfect.
and this is Britty. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good tonight, all run. We're here for the Age of Champions League. We're in the lower second round. This is going to be a best of three between our boys here in Clown Gaming and the Mirage Alliance developmental roster. Should be a pretty interesting one. There was we'll call it a swift 2-0 from Clown Gaming last week after some unfortunate timings with some fire alarms, but hey, it happens to the best of us.
Hey,
But
you
now we've
know
got
what?
Clown Gaming
A win's
here.
a win.
Yeah, a win is a win. We've got Clown Gaming here in this second round, looking to continue to advance in this lower bracket, run against the Mirage Alliance developmental squad. I'm pretty excited to see where this matchup is going to go to.
Yeah. So I'm just excited to be here in general. I love jumping on the cast. I love seeing what's going on. And I I honestly did not even realize that ACL was still playing. So this is fun.
Yeah, ACL still going on. They've got a pretty big playoff bracket overall. They are gone the full double elimination grand finals all the way at the end. We're still in the best of threes here, so we are just looking at the first 2-2 wins here tonight, and we already are in deep underway into the pick and ban here. Mirage Alliance first picking that rel alongside banning the Callista, the Ash, and the Renata Glass. Lots of bottom lane focus in this ban phase, whereas Clown Gaming are looking to pick up the Senna, which I have to say I really like as a response into the rel.
Yeah, I'm really loving the way Senna is kind of fitting her way into the meta again right now. Especially we saw some play at Worlds, we saw some interesting combos there. I would really love to see a little bit more out of the Senna pick. Some more. I'm always feeling like there's more experimentation to be done, and we're just not quite there yet.
Yeah, there's so many different combinations that you can have with the Senna. All those tank champions like Cho'Gath and like Tahm Kench that people love to see it paired with. But you can also use her just as a standard support alongside those normal AD carries like Senna Caitlyn or Senna. I'm struggling to think of another AD carry to match it up with right now, but someone like Ezreal, these champions that have longer range, a little bit of safety for themselves, and can really start to pressure and poke down a lane. So Senna does have that flexibility, and I'd love to see what the Clown Gaming squad can do with it in this first matchup.
Yep, and now we see the Maokai and the Aatrox as well for Clown Gaming. As on the opposite side, though, we're seeing the Rumble, the J4, the Rel. We're actually seeing a huge wombo being built up for Mirage. And what I want to see here is how we disrupt that from CG. What bans do you throw forward? We see the Kaisa coming through. Uh, Now, what we want to see here is some way of actually disrupting the combo so that it's not actually coming all the way through. I think the Sivir ban is actually pretty good here. Stops a little bit more of that grouping threat. And now on the opposite side, they have the Tahm Kench ban coming through, getting rid of that standard Senna pairing. And we have one more coming in, hopefully a few seconds.
Yeah, I do like the bottom lane focus here for Clown Gaming, banning some of those good matchups with Rel. They know it's not going to be flexed into the jungle as that Jarvan was already locked away. So just focusing down that AD carry pool a little bit more. Whereas Mirage, like you said, taking away that Tahm Kench, we're waiting on the last possible second for a ban here as they're going to scroll through the AD carries, take out Ezreal alongside that one.
Oh,
And Clown
and
Gaming right away are going to slam down the Neela. All
I'm
right.
not gonna lie. Earlier, when you were listing off all the champs you can play with Senna, I was like, I'm not a bot laner, but I kind of love the Nyla Senna combo. I really love anything with Nyla that actually gives her a little bit more safety and space to get through laning phase. Because when you're playing at that short range, it can be really hard to pick up the CS you need to really get going with your items. Now, Nyla has a bunch of comeback built into her just with the EXP passive that keeps her moving forward. And as long as she and Senna can keep pushing, I think this could be a really great lane. We do have the Jinx Rel on the opposite side, so we know that there's going to be aggression coming from the side of Mirage. What's going to have to happen is they're going to have to limit the trades until they're ready to fully fight.
Yeah, I do think Jinx Rel is a very scary lane to play against. It's one that can be really difficult. I have played Neela Senna recently in one of my ranked games. I won't lie, didn't go incredibly, but the combination is there. I can really see the possibility between like all of the healing that Senna can pump out in the early game, especially when you pick up that early Umbral Glaive to grab some extra lethality, help out that scaling on the heal. And Neela, like you said, loves having that extra a bit of safety in lane and also a bit of that follow-up when she does all in alongside the safety of getting the farming.
Now we are seeing from Mirage, we have essentially just the full-on wombo combo, like we said earlier. They've got the Azir and Jinx pick up in the last round just to make sure that they can really solidify that. While on the side of Clown Gaming, we have a little bit more of what we might call the death ball comp.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's gonna roll in at you at melee range with Senna just a little bit behind. So
Yeah,
I actually really love this from Cloud Gaming. I think this is a really ballsy draft, and I think this is something that you can really snowball through.
yeah, I will say I'm a little concerned for the damage profile from Clown Gaming. You are very indexed into this physical damage composition. You have that double AD carry bottom side. You've got top two ADs in your solo lanes. You really are relying on Maokai for that magic damage, and you want to be relying on him for frontline. So you're really hoping that that demonic embrace is just gonna hit really hard. But I can see multiple members of Mirage, probably the Jarvan, the Rumble, and maybe even the Rel, picking up a pair of steel caps, maybe some early armor, and really making it difficult for the Clown Gaming composition. So they are going to have to play smart and itemize correctly if they want to try and punish this scaling composition for Mirage and really death ball, snowball, like you said, out of control.
Yeah, and what I would say here is that even though you have basically a full AD comp from Clown Gaming, you don't have a true tank over on the side of Mirage.
Mhm.
You're not this isn't a jungle rel who gets like full income, so you don't have true armor stacking, and you still have a lot of the armor penetration that comes out of Nyla's kit, as well as the mixed damage coming from Yone. So actually, in this particular case, I'm not as worried as I might otherwise be about the single damage comp.
Yeah, I think it's one that they have enough mixed damage in some of their picks that it will be able to work out. And you are, as 280 carries, incentivized to build that percentage penetration anyway, especially with Aatrox most likely going for the, I hope at least, the Gore Drinker build. I'm personally a big hater on the lethality Aatrox build, even though I've seen it do good work. Yone's going to build crit, which always scales really well into armor. There's a lot of good options here for the Clown Gaming side. And Mirage, like we said, they want to scale. They have their big wombo combo. They want to fight once they have those level 11s and beyonds, those 2-item power spikes. So Clown Gaming does have a really good opportunity to snowball in the early game to really push their advantage. And if you can get Senna a little bit of a couple extra souls in the early game, if you can get Yone on that 1-item power spike, if you can get Maokai in these lanes early, making ganks happen, I can really see them pulling this game away and out of control and just out of the hands of Mirage.
Absolutely. What I really want to see in this is just some punishment onto some of these scaling picks that Mirage took. You have the Jinx, you have the Azir. These are what I like to call dumpsterable champions. These that if you put them 3, 4 deaths in the hole, they won't come back unless you royally screw up.
Yeah,
You
it does
you
make it
have to
really
dumpster the
difficult.
dumpsterable champions here. I would honestly argue that almost none of the champions on Clown Gaming are true dumpsterable champions, other than I would say maybe this Senna.
Yeah, that was the one I
Senna
was going to
is
argue
hard to come
for.
back.
Senna, it's very difficult when you get behind to start scaling up, but that's the great thing about having Senna into this Mirage composition. There's not a lot of early game pressure. You have Jarvan who wants to gank in the early game, but you're facing versus Rel, whose engage is very, very obvious to see. It's super linear. You have Rumble, who's not going to be able to apply too much pressure in the early game, especially versus Aatrox with all of his sustain. Azir, we know if he has Halo Blades, he might be able to do something, but it's not a lot of early pressure. Jinx wants to farm, Azir wants to farm, Rumble wants to farm. Rel and Jarvan want to make things happen, but when you're looking down the barrel of, hey, I've got a Jinx behind me and I'm looking at a Senna and a Neela who really just want to auto the crap out of me and make me feel a lot of pain, it doesn't feel too good to look for those engages.
Absolutely. And right now, just like glancing at some of the stats that are currently out there, overall, Aatrox is a favored lane into Rumble with a 52% win rate, generally gets the early gold lead, generally gets more champion encounter kills. Aatrox is pretty much favored across the board into Rumble, as long as Rumble is not just tearing things up with a wombo. So
Yeah.
you really got to watch for this classic Jarvan Rumble combo.
Yeah, that
And
love
as
six
as
combo.
long as you don't let 3, 4 members of your team sit inside of a cataclysm, you're probably not going to just lose your whole squad to the equalizer.
Yeah, and thankfully for most of the members of Clown Gaming, they do have that mobility. Nila with that double dash. You've got Yone with either his Q3, that extra tornado, or the Soul Unbound gives him a little bit of a push away. You got Maokai with his Twisted Advance, Aatrox with those Umbral dashes. It really is only Senna who might need to burn a flash in there in that particular scuffle, but otherwise, you have a lot of mobility for these members of Clown Gaming, which is already what you want to see into things like Jinx and Azir. You want to punish them for being out of position. You want to force those early mobility spells out of them. If you see a Jinx burn Flash before 5 minutes, that's just the freest gank target I've ever seen.
Absolutely. I am really looking forward to seeing how many times this Jarvan just jumps directly onto Senna. Because to be perfectly honest, that's the
I
move.
expect it to be the target every time, and I feel so bad as I do enjoy playing Senna in ranked. I love this champion. I think
Yeah.
she's so much fun. She's really strong right now. But you become such a high value target for any engage on the enemy team. You have to be playing on that razor's edge of, can I still be useful without being dead?
And the worst part is it's not hard to jump on Senna. It's
Oh,
just it's not. Like the only true like peel that Senna is going to have is the Maokai, right? You don't have a lot of great consistent CC on the side of Clown Gaming other than Maokai pressing W or alting on someone. You can keep someone off of Senna. It's not impossible by any means, but it's not going to be easy either.
yeah, trying to peel for this composition. As Senna, you're sort of like, okay, I'm gonna be a target. I'm gonna stand way far back. I'm gonna give you guys an ulti. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of healing. You guys are good to go. You got it. I believe in you. I'm cheerleading from the back here. Whereas the rest of Clown Gaming really do want to be diving onto that backline, diving forward, making things happen, and putting pressure down onto the enemy team. You want to make that Jinx uncomfortable. You want to make that Azir uncomfortable. You don't want to give them the opportunity for that big wombo combo, the huge shuffle into the Cataclysm that just ends up blowing up the game and winning the whole thing for Mirage Alliance.
And now we're into the actual draft of the game. So we should be actually getting started pretty soon. Do you have any real concerns on either side that you want to point out?
Earlier, I did talk about the potential lack of mixed damage for Clown Gaming. If there is any sizable amount of armor that could be built for Mirage, if this Rel somehow gets gold in her pocket, if Jarvan opts for an early Thornmail or Deadman's Plate or Randuin's, it could make life difficult for some of these Clown Gaming carries. So we are going to have to see the Clown Gaming jungler on this Maokai really making things happen. I want to see that early demonic embrace. I want him on the map, and I want him putting pressure on this bottom lane. If the Jinx isn't made uncomfortable in that first 10, 15 minutes, if she's allowed to just farm safely, scale safely, Clown Gaming could be in trouble. But for Mirage, if they do get put in that uncomfortable spot, if they're on the back foot and backpedaling as they're trying to scale, the Clown Gaming composition really can just absolutely steamroll them.
I totally agree. And one of the things that I would really like to point out is if you dumpster the Jinx, Maokai gets to just stack MR. If Jinx is gone out of this game, just 5 kills in the hole, not a champion anymore, you get to just stack MR and you are no longer going to be dealing with basically any damage. You are the unkillable tree king of the jungle, and it is what it is.
Yeah, it really is just how Jinx works. Like you said, dumpsterable champions. You put them in the hole early, and it's so difficult for them to climb back out of it, especially if you can just continue up that pressure. We're going to cut to a short break here while we wait for the client draft to finish and we get ourselves loaded onto the rift for game one here of Clown Gaming versus Mirage Alliance Developmental. I'll say that name one time tonight without flubbing it. We'll be right back after a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. We are jumping into the game right now. On the red side, we have our Clown Gaming Squad, and on the blue side, we have Mad. We're just
Mirage
gonna
Alliance
There we go.
Developmental. And
Yeah.
immediately out the gate,
Woo!
we've got a pause. Oh,
Yeah.
it would not be a competitive game if we did not have a pause at some point early on into the game. We get a little bit of time to talk about some potential choices for runes and summoner spells. I do want to talk about, this is always something I find interesting when I look at top lane. Aatroxes when they take Comet versus taking Conquer. I always love seeing this particular choice in range matchups, just looking for that extra bit of damage and poke, trying to get that extra bit of damage so you can find that lethal on your all-in versus the Ignite Rumble. I think it's scary.
Yeah. And thankfully, the pause was short. We see a little bit of trading coming over from Cryogen. Nothing really to write home about.
20 gold for the support. The matchup's over. It's just a free win.
Yeah, no. It's done.
We do have that delay because Riot's pause always unpauses too early and has to set you back to the perfect delay, and it always throws everything off. Don't worry, Riot's just a small indie company. Sometimes they struggle with making a working spectator client. It's fine. It happens to the best of us, really.
Yeah, you know.
We are finally actually loaded into the game. And so far, it is just that early 5-point, but we do see a little bit of an early movement here from the Clown Gaming bottom lane, trying to get aggressive onto Levitate.
Oh, shoot. They got a ward, too? Done.
That's a free ward clear. Look at that 2 vision score for Zev. It's just, the bottom lane, already, Clown Gaming showing that they are just miles above their competition here. The early gold lead already in their favor, and it's not even 2 minutes yet. They're just better.
And of course, we see 4 members of Mad with LPL-inspired name adjustments. So obviously they're going to lose because I see a T1-inspired name adjustment over on Cryogen. It's done.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I mean, they went 4-0 versus the LPL, and I see 4 LPL names. Or not 4, I see 2 LPL names on the side of Mirage.
There's actually 4.
There is my dream LPL, but it's not the...
There's
it's not
JDG, JDG, and LNG.
You see an early engage here. Snow gonna get a nice knock up onto Cryogen. Force out the heal early, but Cryogen getting a nice trade back. Getting some damage down on it to Levitate. Don't hate to see that. And it's more gold and more damage for the Senna, and with the early XP that Neela gives, that's an early level 2 that's going to make it very difficult to trade against. Oof, that's
Rough
an uncomfortable trade.
Yeah, no, that feels bad, man.
This is the reason why Rumble has been so strong in the meta recently. His early level 2 trades, the Ignite damage pressure. It's so difficult to play against, but already Boily Oil trading a healthily back, getting a nice little bit of Q exchanges on to My Dream LPL. And the damage is looking better for the Aatrox. That D shield is going to keep him healthy for a lot longer.
Yeah, I think that Boil the Oil definitely recovered pretty well there. Now his CS is not recovering yet.
Yeah.
That's looking pretty bad.
We do already see I1LT up here. They're looking for a dive onto the Aatrox. He's holding that flash for as long as possible. He's going to finally burn a nice knockup onto I1LT. He's tanking up the tower for his teammate. It'll be first blood to Mirage Gaming Alliance, but Debonair strikes back in the mid lane with a nice gank from Excelsis.
Yeah, and we really see a lot of patience coming out from this Mad team up in the top lane. That was a slow, controlled, pretty well
Nice
executed.
little dash from Zev there away from that crash down off of Snow, too. No engage happening in the bottom side. Nicely outplayed. Levitate, actually, taking a lot of damage. The Ghost is popped by Zev. There's the punch from Levitate, but now the Ignite is down. Zev is ticking away. The autos might be dodged, but the Ignite ticking is good. Snow 2 finds that kill. Cryogen is going to try and trade back the healing, and the sustain off those health potions is just going to another crash down. Cryogen flashes away from it. The stun is up. Levitate's here with the auto attacks now in that pow form. Cryogen trying to get the damage down. The piercing light, it's not enough damage. Levitate's going to live with the sliver of HP. Cryogen's still trying to chase down, trying to find any last trade. Snow dashes forward to try and find the damage.
That was a
1 HP! Cryogen finally finds the kill! But now on the top side, it's not over just yet. Boil the Oil has to get away from this gang. No flash, no dash on this Aatrox. I think he is just gonna die slowly. Maybe he's gonna look for some kind of outplay here, but the damage from Rumble so high! My Dream LPL finds his second.
Just so many things happen across this map. All in all, still relatively even. There is a 500 gold lead in favor of Mad right now. They're looking pretty good. They have the 1 kill advantage, and most importantly, this Rumble is way ahead.
Got a bit of a roam here in the mid lane. Snow is going to Hex Flash onto that Soul Unbound. Just wait for Debonair to snap back, get that crash down and that stun down. The Glacial Log been putting in so much work. Debonair is going to dash away, find that knockup, and will be able to survive the exchange. The level up is going to give him enough health to not be worried about a dive here. Nicely played by the Clown Gaming mid laner.
Very patient play, very good things coming out. Now, he is going to struggle to get all of the CS there, but he actually still has a small CS lead as long as he can avoid getting
just on LT, flashing forward, looking to find the knockup onto Zeb, but that double dash from the Neelix is going to keep her so safe. The Zap finds its mark, though. Zeb going to get slowed up, knocked up, crashed down. Levitate finds their first kill of the game.
Oh, you do not want to see that onto your Nyla. It's rough. It's still playable as of right now, but it's rough.
Yeah, this is a very nice early pressure from the Mirage Alliance side on this bottom lane, and the action is just not going to stop. Line 1 LT, now potentially the target, but Cryogen has to be worried about getting turned on. There's that twisted advance onto Draxter. There's the fate sealed, finds the Azir. Debonair will pick that one up, and now the rest of Clown Gaming is going to try and keep moving forward, but Excelsis getting a little bit low on HP there, stuck on 1. Levitate will finally pick that one up, but Cryogen and Zeb are here for the re-engage. They'll pick up L1 LT. Snow, too, is in that dismounted mode, so I don't think he's going to be much longer for this world. A nice route by Cryogen. They should be able to just donate this one over to the Senna. And Senna started to get really ahead in this game, and it's just non-stop action for both sides here.
Yeah, I keep thinking, okay, now I'll say something. Nope. Nope, there is no talking. There is only fisticuffs. Let's go. This is what I love to see when I'm casting.
Yeah, non-stop action, non-stop fighting. But now that we have a second to breathe, we can start to take in the state of the game. And you were talking about the CS being difficult for Boil the Oil earlier in the game. And already it is a 20 CS lead for that Rumble up here in the top side. And this is generally how these matchups looks. It's not always the most comfortable for the Aatrox. Boil the Oil doing his best to get a nice trade back, but now 2 levels down, the Equalizer, the Ignite, Boil the Oil is gonna boil away. Rumble's gonna find another one.
Oh, honestly, it was a commendable thought, but that is a Rumble who is 2 levels above you. You don't have your ult. You gotta wait until you have a little bit more in your kit before you fight that. Look at what's in his inventory right now. He is struggling. He's trying to get that Hex Drinker.
Yeah, it really is mandatory for this matchup. And with that comment room page, you do get the nullifying orb, so you can grab that extra magic resist shield. And we saw it pop there. It helped him survive for a little bit longer, but this is why the Rumbles take the Ignite. They don't worry about that teleport for map pressure, for roaming, or for making plays. They want to win a lane and win a lane hard.
Absolutely. Now we do see down in the bot lane, Jinx has actually built herself a pretty nice little CS lead as well. The Nyla sitting on 1 kill and about 10 CS down. Good trading coming out, but nothing too crazy. They're not trying to all in just yet.
Yeah, we can already see the Clown Gaming bottom lane, thanks to that passive from Neela. She is giving them both level 6 before Snow 2 even has level 5. This Rel is still stuck on level 4 thanks to that early roam into the mid lane. And it's going to start to make life a little bit difficult for the Jinx and the Rel. Snow has to stick around and lane a little bit longer to find more experience, and Levitate wants to hit level 6 soon so they can try and find a trade back at some point. Hold on, I say that as Snow is just going to find the engage, beautifully flash forward on that crash down. Zeb has the apotheosis, though. We'll find the trade onto Snow too, but the Super Mega Death Rocket finds its mark. Levitate trades back. It's a 1-for-1, but it's 80 carry for support.
Yep, most importantly, the Nyla actually managed to pick up the kill as well. The CS lead has actually shrunk a little bit, and Jinx has to back right now. So this is actually not a bad spot for the Clown Gaming bot lane. This is not really a terrible way for this to have gone. Speaking of terrible ways for things to have gone, we're back in top lane.
Yep, Debonair is going to find Snow. A minor 4-level lead between the mid laner and support here. As Draxler is going to get some damage on the Cryogen. And poor Rel is just getting bullied. Excel is going to find that Drax flashes in. I'm not sure what that was. I think that might have been a little bit of a fat finger there, as the Azir will die and the Dragon will go over to Clown Gaming.
Yep, there was a little bit of a bouncy house going on, and now we are back to a pretty even gold state overall. Now with some gold in Yone's pocket, some gold in both 80 carries pockets, and, you know, trying everyone's best to ignore top lane. What are you thinking about this total game state?
Oh, I don't think we get to ignore top lane just yet. Boy the Oil with a nice flash out of that Cataclysm in 1LT is taking a lot of damage. Boy the Oil will eventually fall, but I think he actually gets a trade back with that last tower shot. No!
Nope.
Dream LP will survive the trade in the bottom side as well now. Snow 2 gonna get engaged on a nice crash down onto 2. The Super Mega Death Rocket will find Excels. Levitate starting to get that first reset, starting to pop off. The teleport's coming through from Debonair. He's got that Fate Seal. They're maybe gonna look for something onto this tower. Debonair wants it, hits that Fate Seal onto Levitate. The flash away, but the flash forward from the Yone will find the shutdown goal. Draxler now the one in trouble. A nice knock up over the wall. Beautifully played. Cryogen is gonna go on a rampage, and it's Clown Gaming fighting back on the bottom side.
Clown Gaming is absolutely playing to their win times. If they want this death fall, they're gonna have this death fall. Now, there is thankfully a moment to breathe right now. Rel's not near anyone, so we can't get another Rel kill just yet.
It's 10 minutes, Rel is still level 4. It feels so bad. I finally think it's level 5, but it's gonna be a minute before Snow 2 gets to level 6, and Senna already has Kraken Slayer, Yone also has Haze. While the top side is not looking great for Clown Gaming, Boil the Oil is going to have to sit back and get carried for a minute or two, but Debonair, Cryogen, and Zev are all starting to get very, very strong, and with the support of Excelsis, this might be the death ball that Clown Gaming was looking for.
Alright, so this is going to be a little bit of a niche reference. How familiar are you with Chinese martial arts?
Somewhat familiar. I wouldn't say I'm intimately familiar, but, you know, I've got my basic knowledge.
So, in Chinese martial arts, and in a lot of Chinese things, right, there's a phrase. The phrase is jiao, which literally means add oil.
Yeah, add oil.
And it basically is just kind of a generic cheer that you use when you want someone to just kind of kick it up a notch. And it feels really appropriate here for top lane.
Just gotta keep adding oil, boil off more oil, add some more flavor to this mix. And once this Aatrox gets online, it will be adding a lot of flavor to this composition. Aatrox is well known for his team fighting capabilities and his just general output of potential damage and crowd control and healing. He really can be a monster. It's just gonna take him a little bit longer to get there, but you know, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes you have a game where you just have to get carried, and that's fine. It totally happens. The rest of Clown Gaming have not fallen behind, and I think especially with the strong bottom lane duo that they have here between the Neela and the Senna, as Draxler maybe in trouble, is going to look for something off that shuffle, but nothing even doing. The damage from Debonair just a little bit too strong.
Now, we were told that in previous games, this particular squad had struggled a little bit into Azir. I don't think this is the Azir they're going to
Maokai ultimate left taking to pop that cleanse. Get out of there. In1 LT is gonna flag and drag in, but not sure it's exactly what he wants to find. That Herald will finally crash as the rest of Clown Gaming coming down to collapse. The Fate Seal doesn't find anybody. It's a nice knock up from In1 LT. Debonair takes a couple of tower shots, but he will just walk away. Snap back to that soul. Cryogen feeling absolutely aggressive on this Senna, just walking forward permanently. As I think now the Jarvan is going to look for an engagement. Nice sidestep on the flag and drag, doesn't eat the knockup and kills him before he can bring down the Cataclysm.
We were talking about how
gaming
easy
roster.
it is to jump on top of the Senna. It's not so easy when she's this far ahead of you.
Ooh, flash forward. Here's that easy dive in. Debonair will pick up one, but it's shutdown gold. Going over to My Dream LPL with a nice rotate and the equalizer. That's a lot of gold for the Rumble that was already really fed. That, I think, might have been the least favorable target for Clown Gaming to get that money on.
Yeah, you definitely don't need that in your day right now. You know what? I think I would rather have that, though, than letting this Azir get back into the game. I think that right now, Rumble is just going to be far ahead for quite some time, unless you're just destroying him in every fight from now on. And honestly, I'd rather play a 4v5 with a really fed one person than a 5v5 with that really fed person still there.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from with that, and I like the thought process. I'm curious to see how Clown Gaming is going to deal with it, because there is a nice fat shutdown gold on this Rumble. He is approaching that Zhonya's for himself, and I'm sure he'll hit that sooner rather than later, as Snow is just going to find some nice damage to try and slow down the farm of Debonair. When Rumble does get that Zhonya's, he's going to be a lot safer and a lot more difficult to kill. We already talked about the heavy physical damage that this Clown Gaming roster has for this particular first draft, so the Zhonya's, I think, a really smart pickup from this Rumble.
It looks like we're already starting.
Slayer,
Okay. So it looks like Matt has decided they do not want to fight for this.
I think that's
respectable. Yeah, they've lost the big fights. Right, they have not managed to pick up any of these team fights, regardless of the giant wombo combo comp they've tried to draft. They're scaling right now. They want to delay this game a little while. They have the champions necessary to take this into the hyper late game if need be. Now we want to see a little bit more proactivity in terms of taking these actual objectives. We only see one tower down on the map, so if I'm Clown Gaming, this mid lane tower is a new priority.
Right now, the priority for Mirage is this Herald. It looks like it is just going to go over for free. It doesn't look like Excelsis is going to get into try for any sort of steal. So with the Herald now engaged on, Snow looking for the all-in. Excelsis is going to flash away from that flag and drive. Now Jarvan, now the target, going to use so much crowd control, so many knockups. The heals upon the Stun 4 from Zeb. The engage is there for Clown Gaming, but it's just one kill so far. My Dream LBL trying to get the engage in. There's that crash down, and the Magnet Sword from Snow pulling crowd closer to that wall, but Zeb has the damage. Azir will finally lock down that Senna and pick up the kill in response. It's the Herald going over, but it's a huge team fight win for Clown Gaming.
Now, the unfortunate part is neither of the people they killed are actually worth any gold right now. That is a 6-death Rel and 3-death Jarvan. He's probably worth 150 gold. It's just a little rough.
He's got assists, so he's worth something. And even just getting him out of the fight before he can bring down that Cataclysm, not letting him pair up with the Magnet Storm, pair up with that Equalizer. We still haven't seen the full Wombo combo come out for Mirage Developmental just yet. It has been these more scattered fights where Clown Gaming has had their pick of the litter for engages. I'm a little bit nervous to see when they do actually unlock this full Wombo combo, when they get it off, if Clown Gaming is going to be able to respond to it and fight back.
Yeah, you know, it's encouraging when you see things like Jarvan dying before you can get on top of Senna. Because if that's what you're going to see in these fights, then yeah, I think that we're in a pretty good spot with Clown Gaming. I don't think that that's going to be the case forever, though. I mean, you see a couple of cloth armors in the inventory of Jarvan.
LPL. Takes that Hex Gate, but it might just be his gate to the Death Realm. There's 3 members of Clown Gaming all hungrily looking at this shutdown gold, and it will be picked up by Debonair. So we got a shuffle here in the mid lane. Draxer pulls the Nyla back and gets her picked up, and now there's engaged on the bottom side as well. Snow getting engaged on now in response. Crygen is forced to walk away off of that Ignite, but they do have the damage. Debonair goes legendary onto the Yone. 8-0 and 4. He is feeling himself on this pick.
All right. Hear me out. At this point, I think Rel's dying on purpose. you hear me out. If she keeps dying like this and then stops dying out of nowhere, right? Then all the people she's fed are worth more gold.
It's tactical inting. It really is the true support strategy. When you're playing the engaged support champions like Alistar or Rel, sometimes you just gotta go in and see what there is to find. You just gotta try and find something.
Right now, you get 1,000 gold for killing Yone. You wouldn't get that if Rel weren't dying all over the place.
You're so right, actually, 100%. As my Dream LPL is just gonna reassert his dominance up here in the top side, make Boil the Oil feel a little bit of pain. And I do find it interesting, actually, that the Aatrox has opted to fully finish the Maw of Malmortius first, as opposed to just sitting on the Hex Drinker. I wonder if having that completed item is going to give him more power, as Snow, I think you have crashed down onto the wrong side of the map here, as Boil the Oil, you're just going to find some knockups, get those Unbolt Chains, but it might just be the bait of the Century. Celsius will pick up Snow too, but it's the equalizing of the Mega Death Rocket for Mirage Alliance. Beautifully comboed, and it ends up being a 1-for-1.
Yeah. It's another one of those nobody's really worth that much gold kind of plays. I mean, look who died. The 0-5 Aatrox, the 1-8 Rel. It's fine.
Clown Gaming are going to pick up some extra gold on the bottom side here as well. A nice 600 gold injection into that Yone, get him even stronger. And with that Moonplate in inventory, I have to assume that this is going to be the Hullbreaker Yone. Off broadcast, we were talking about the item changes and the updates, and what we're excited to see is we're going to put that on pause. Oh! The Fate Steals from Debonair is going to get him out of trouble. Now there's 4 members of Mirage Alliance coming down to get him, though I do not think he is much longer for this world. He's going to unbind that Spirit, but yeah, it is just going to be picked up. In 1LT, I'm not sure is the one they wanted to get that 1,000 gold shutdown, but it is something, as he Apotheosis stopwatched by LPL beautifully. You will be able to walk away from that play. A really nice Zhonya's time and keep him safe.
Yeah, and it looks like this is going to give Matt a real chance at actually taking the next dragon, stopping that stacking that had been built up for Clown Gaming, and building up toward a Hex Drake is really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard, controversial opinion, but Hextech Dragons are pretty good. So if you get, like, 3 or 4 of them when you get your soul, you're pretty happy, no matter what kind of team composition you have, as Snow walking forward as he does. Makai Ultimate is going to come down. Snow is going to find that crash down the Equalizer, not actually finding that much value. Crygen flashing away, but there's the Flash Cataclysm. N1LT finds another, goes on a killing spree. Zev is forced to run away, but Azir has the auto attacks, will spear her down. And Clown Gaming are starting to lose control of this game. Mirage Alliance are starting to fight their way back.
It's a pretty huge swing right there. We went from a 0-3 Jarvan to a 3-3 Jarvan. And he picked up that 1,000 gold shutdown onto Yone. The inting paid off.
Yeah, see, this is exactly what that strategy is all about. You die 10 times. You hit that 10 death power spike. Your opponents have a big shutdown, but they're not bringing as many items as they would if they had killed all of your teammates 10 times. It's just you.
Yeah. Now, the mid lane turret finally falls in favor of Clown Gaming. We still have 1 tier 1 left for Clown Gaming to take down. So far, only 1 turret actually dropped in favor of Mad. So, it's pretty boring still. No real action if turrets aren't falling, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 2 kills, almost a minute. Yeah, pretty boring game overall. But yeah, the objective lead's still in favor of Clown Gaming right now, but the gold lead, he's starting to slip away from them, just about 1.2 in their favor. And With this Rumble continuing to get stronger, I do really like the itemization here from In1LT on this Jarvan. That Frozen Heart second into this AD composition is just going to neuter a lot of these threats. And if you get them all on the Cataclysm, get that extra slow so Senna can't pop out those heals as often. And speaking of the Cataclysm, oh, a beautiful Bramble Smash from Excelsis to push him out of his own ultimate. But there's the crash down from Snow. The crowd control is good. Excelsis gets picked up, and this Jinx is only getting stronger. As with the jungler down, it looks like Mirage are thinking about a potential Baron.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough right now because you have the Wombo combo team right there. Now, they did just use some key abilities. You could try to fight this while their combo is a little less Wombo. But
Yeah.
do you have the people you need? Without the Maokai.
Debonair over the side, Cryogen stepping away from that zap. They are going to peel Mirage Alliance off of that Baron. 1LT looks for the Flag Jack, doesn't find it. And it is peeled away. The jungler died, but no objectives given over. That's a fine death. Nothing too big happens.
Yeah.
Debonair potentially caught Flag and Drag over the wall. There's that blast going to get him to safety.
Now, all of those previously used ults are back up. We do have the chance for everything to come right back into this. We really think that, you know, Mad wants to force a fight. They want everyone to group up, they want it to be a slugfest, and they want to take this fight down.
Deja vu, I've just been in this place where Excelsis. Bramble smashes M1LT out of the Cataclysm, but the equalizer is there. I feel like I've been in this place before. Jungler's down, Mirage is going to turn to Baron.
It looks like there was, in fact, a second target for Cataclysm.
Yeah, Maokai can be a viable target if he doesn't have his team around him. Now the rest of Cloud Gaming trying to get in, but Cryogen is the target. They're trying to get that ulti onto the backline. Zeb, you see Apotheosis is down. Levin takes the target. They'll pick him up. Zeb gets picked up as well. The Ignite taking him away. Dream LPL is going to find that one. Now Debonair trying to fight on this front line. Boil the oil. Give me some nice knockups, but it's a huge Emperor's Divide from Draxler to save his team. It will be one kill picked up, but it is just the support. Boil the oil, trying desperately to fight 1 versus 3. He's getting damage down onto this Azir. He can look for something, but it's not enough cooldowns. Draxler will survive. LPL picks up that kill. And Mirage Alliance don't pick up the Baron, but they get extra gold in their pockets.
Yeah, it's still essentially the same gold lead that started the fight, actually. We were at about 500. We're about 600 still in favor of Clown Gaming. I believe there was a shutdown on Jinx that was picked up.
Yes, Debonair got that one.
Yeah, so I think that's really the only gold shift that occurred.
Oh, no, Cryogen. No flash for the Senna, the equalizer, the Super Mega Death Rocket, the flag to finish it off. That feels so bad.
Execution flags are my favorite things. It's almost as good as smite killing.
Yeah, but now with the members of Mirage Alliance all on this bottom side, it looks like they're going to look to engage on the Dragon, but this is going to give Clown Gaming time to start rotating towards this Baron, and with no jungler nearby, they aren't going to opt to start it up, but they are just threatening it. They're making sure that Mirage Alliance knows that that is a possibility.
Yeah, it seems like, to be perfectly honest, Clown wasn't all together there. If they had managed to actually group a little bit better, they could have forced a fight on the Baron while there was a split. It really just ended up being a little bit of a waste of time. They did kill a control ward, which is, of course, the main objective of every game. But it is what it is right now.
I do have to worry about the Hullbreaker build for Debonair here. I know he does want to be a split push threat in the Yone. This is the usual build. You go Kraken Slayer, Hullbreaker, Infinity Edge, but this is most of the gold for Clown Gaming. This is their true carry, and if he's not taking part in fights, if he's not making an impact on the map, dragging over at least one person, if not two, when he makes these side lane split pushes, the gold lead is actually in favor of Mirage when they take fights.
Oh, speaking of fights with this gold lead.
Yeah, Yone, turns out, can do a lot of damage. Devon's going to look for the Apotheosis, find it onto two. Snow's going to get that crash down, but it doesn't find the knockup on to Cryogen. He'll pick up that kill, teleports in from Boil the Oil. This might be the fight. That Clown Gaming, we're looking for the Dawning Shadow over the top. L1LT looking for it. Draxler can't find the Emperor's Divide. Cryogen getting away from that one. It's a double kill for Excelsis. Levitate forced a flash over the wall. And with important flashes and Bird teammates dead, it's gonna be Clown Gaming taking out the Baron.
Yep, we went from about a 200 gold lead to a 2,000 gold lead, and this Baron's going to extend that a little bit more. I think this puts Clown Gaming in a great spot to actually start pushing for some turrets.
Yeah,
Turning this game from the snooze fest that it was into a true banger.
I was worried about the Yone potentially not being threatening enough on the side lane. Oh, maybe with Hullbreaker he's forced too hard in the side lane. Never mind. Debonair shows me how wrong I am and says, all right, I'm just going to solo kill Rumble and then come into the fight and clean it up for my team. What a player. I
138 souls for this Senna as well. She is
wow.
scaling pretty well. We are seeing some range diff coming on.
Ooh, Hex Flash into the fight. Snow is looking for the engage. Zev is going to get equalized on. Dream LPL will find that kill. Crygen maybe now in trouble. Has no flash on this Senna. The Super Mega Death Rocket should execute. Levitate will pick that one up. And it's a nice collapse for Mirage Alliance. They are going to punish some of these Baron buffs as Debonair gets his soul unbound over the wall. He'll pick up one. Gonna burn that stopwatch. Save a little bit of time. The stuns miss time. Debonair maybe will be able to find two here. Picks up the Rumble as well. A nice knockup on Elmon LT, but Levitate will finally pick it up, and that's the Yone your mother tells you to be worried about in the side lane. Debonair
You're gonna need to send more people because Debonair is here to play.
He's putting on a show on this Yone, and you love to see it.
Absolutely. Now, and of course, the most important part, a single turret.
Everybody loves it when turrets go down. That is now 5 for Clown Gaming. Still just the two outer, not even the two outer turrets, the two mid lane turrets for Mirage Alliance Developmental so far. Now with a red buff on this Senna, I have question marks about the particular build choice. I do feel like it's trying to do a bit too much of everything and not enough of one thing. As we see the Kraken Slayer combined with the Locket of the Iron Solari for a bit of that extra defensive support for that backline.
It's not... Yeah, it's not my favorite way of doing this, especially with the additional specking into the on-hit build with Bork coming third. I think, though, the idea is that Senna needs about 3 more seconds of survival.
Celsius looking for the engage. Nice blocking by the members of Mirage Alliance. Zev can't get the Apotheosis onto too many important members. It's nice ult from Draxter. It's Boil the Oil. Maybe not in the right part of the map. It's going to take that Hex Gate in, but it's just going to be crowd controlled down. A bit of an unfortunate gateway there. Not the one he was looking for.
Boil the Oil needs to go next.
In one LT, looks for the knockup, finds it onto Debonair. There's that equalizer and the Cataclysm. Zev is just burning down. There's not much he can do. It's a huge Magnet Sword crash down onto Cryogen as well. Levitate is free, firing in the fight. It's shutdown goal going over to Draxter. Debonair doing his best to be a hero on the back line. Might be able to trade at least one here, but it's just not going to be enough. It's a clean ace for Mirage Developmental. The set timers look long. That might just be the game.
Every time one of these fights happens, I look back at the gold lead, and every time it's somehow still in Clown Gaming's favor by just a little bit. It's finally going to go back over into Mad's favor after this dragon goes down. But it's just a testament to how much gold they've managed to shove into their pockets throughout this game.
Yeah, they have been so far ahead over the course of this game. But now the Death Ball is starting to come together for Mirage Alliance. They're starting to put together these players. They're getting their items online. This Jinx is now a 4-item monster. A huge threat on this backline. And if Debonair and Excelsis can't get on top of this Jinx and start locking her down, the threat might just be too much for Clown Gaming to handle.
Yes, and honestly, what we're looking at over on the side of Mad... Yeah, turret went down. What we're looking at over on the side of Mad, we have that armor stacking starting to come through for Jarvan. He even grabbed the Frozen Heart just to get a little bit more of that screw you guys. What we want to see from Mad is actually forcing team fights. What we want to see from Clown Gaming is getting proactive plays in. We saw them try. It almost worked. But what they actually need to do is catch people in groups of 2 or even loners if we can, and just pick one person off. You pick one person off, you have control of the map, no matter which team does it.
Yeah.
It's close. It's really easy for things to sway either way, and what you need is to just find the mistake.
Debonair is still pushing away on this bottom side. Draxler actually has to be a little bit worried about the threat that this Yone has on him. Yeah, I totally agree. Clown Gaming does need to just look for these isolated picks, but against the Deathball composition, it is so difficult as Debonair just trying to hunt for any sort of damage, but Draxler playing so safe on this Azir. Knows his job is just to wave clear, sit back, don't let Yone touch this turret, and he's happy to do so.
That is one of those things that a lot of players struggle with. When your job is just wave clear, you don't want to fight. You're not aiming at the other player.
Oh, Debonair. Oh, it's a beautiful Emperor's Divide from Draxler. Reacted to perfectly. He's now going to try and teleport out. It's going to channel, but I think Snow's going to be here to cancel it in time. The Super Mega Death Rocket will pick up the kill for Levitate. A valiant attempt, but now with their mid laner gone, that Baron spawning in a couple of seconds, Clown Gaming on the back foot.
I have to give a ton of credit over to Levitate. These ults have been great. Honestly, just absolutely on point, grabbing every single one of these kills with it. I mean, 9 kills on Jinx. Terrible place for your opponents to be in.
Oh, yeah.
We finally see that scaling coming in. I mean, Jinx is on 4.5 items.
When this Baron is done, I'm sure it will be 5.
Yeah, this is well. 1,500 gold in the pocket. It's not going to finish the next item, but it's going to come close.
A little bit more farm and some extra time on the map should get her to that 5th item, and yeah, we see Zeb on this Neela doing his best, getting on that 3.5 items by trying to just get to that next powerful item so he can start being more useful in team fights, but we have seen just the Wombo combo for Clown, against Clown Gaming here from Mad. Just be that little bit better as Boil the Oil. I do not think this is the spot you want to be. This Rumble does a little bit of damage. He's going to valiantly try and trade back, but the Dusk Blade and the Hex Drinker might not do enough. Nice sidestep out from that Equalizer will actually get him fully to safety. Never mind. Shame on me. I wrote him off too early. He'll escape with his life.
The man was running pretty fast.
Yeah, it turns out that's something that Aatrox can do well too. When he pops that ulti, he goes quickly.
Now, of course, the wave is going to be running up pretty quickly with this Baron buff, trying to push in on this inner tower bot lane. We do see Debonair on the opposite side of the map taking jungle camps away. We don't see anything really happening in favor of Clown, and we haven't for a while, right? They've stopped being able to make their proactive plays as they're getting outscaled. They need to find somewhere on the map where they can push an advantage, but Matt is just rotating. Whenever you see Debonair, just bring four or more people, you know?
Yep. It is 170 stacks now for Cryogen on this Senna. That's 760 attacker range. This has to now be, I think, the win condition for Clown Gaming. You gotta protect the Senna. You gotta let her hit these frontline targets and start knocking them down. You have the Kraken Slayer Bork. They're really good at taking down these beefier frontline targets. Now Cryogen is actually going to be in trouble, forced to flash away immediately as Excelsis is going to get engaged on. Dawning Shadow over the top, trying to keep them safe. Snow 2 forced to just back off for now. Draxler doing some damage to Debonair over the wall, gets plenty done as Levitate. Level 18 on the Jinx is feeling pretty strong. Boil the Oil first to dash over the wall. Draxler finds a shuffle lane onto Cryogen on the back line. No flash means it's a dead Senna. And 1LT so tanky on this Jarvan. It says Gale Force away from Levitate. He'll stay alive. He's got the Guardian Angel as well. He's not feeling threatened at all. Boil the Oil will fall. Zeb will be the next to fall. And it's Clown Gaming falling apart at the final stages. They had such a good showing in the early game, but they just couldn't finish it out.
At 0 and 8, the oil is looking more like a light simmer. We're going to need to turn up this heat. Yeah, turret going down. That's what we love to see.
I appreciate you continue to be excited about these turret takes. I think that's the kind of energy we need here on broadcast. We need somebody to be excited about these things going down. As the inhibitor will fall, Levitate's going to get a little bit excited as, you know, that stacks now. It's going to be another kill for the Jinx. It's 10 now. Yeah, she's got a little bit of attack speed, as you can see as she
Wolf.
takes down these turrets. Nice flashing gauge from Snow. It's a last valiant attempt to defend from Clown Gaming, but the Jinx just a little bit too far ahead. Guardian Angels are traded, but the Nexus is open. Mirage Alliance Developmental will take game 1.
And the most important objective to cheer about, the Nexus. All right. That was a fun one. I'm not gonna lie. Every part of that game, exciting, interesting, cool, except for looking at top lane.
You know, it's interesting that toppling was really the focus of let's call it our ire, some of our question marks in this game. But boy, Leo actually ended up doing more damage than Zev onto this Neela, just by about a couple hundred. But we were so excited about this Neela Senna composition in the bottom side, trying to make something happen on the Jinx and put her down early. But we saw what Levitate did, and yikes, that's a Fed Jinx. That's a strong looking champion.
I think that Mad did an excellent job of just setting up free kills for their Jinx. When you saw a lot of these early plays happening for Clown Gaming, Zev was not able to actually be the beneficiary of a lot of them.
Hmm.
And I think that's where your kind of curve gets screwed up. Nyla was never quite useless. I mean, there's always the apotheosis, there's always a little bit more value you can get. But by the end of the game, what are you going to do? Right? You don't have the items to fight Jinx. You don't have the items to fight Rumble. You're a close range champion trying to get in on some really long range carries to do damage. And Jarvan was able to stack that armor. It just didn't work out. What I want to see in some adjustments for this next game are just going to be those tweaks in the bottom lane. I think Cryogen had a great game on Senna for the most part. I know
Absolutely.
the final score doesn't look like it, but look at that damage. I mean, you're topping your team's damage chart on your support pick. We need something different out of Boil the Oil. If all that you need to do is ban the Rumble, but you need something different in this top lane. You
Yeah.
probably want something different in your ADC, but I'm totally fine if they say, you know what, we have faith. Zev, jump on the Nyla again.
Yeah, I think there's has to be something that changes for Clown Gaming, but I did like the early game execution. They looked good. It was just a matter of snowballing that lead even further, pushing that little bit harder, not letting Mad get comfortable. We'll have to see if Mad continues to be comfortable in this game too, or if Clown Gaming will strike back and take us to a game 3. We're going to take a short break while we wait for the draft to be set up for game 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Team's not talking to production beforehand. God damn it.
It's okay. They're going slow. Ooh, no Jarvan. Nice.
Oh, 2-1 got Coma back. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone. We are into draft right now. And we do not have a draft lull, so we're just running it. So
We're
right
rocking it
now,
dry straight from the client. The team's decided we don't need draft flow. We're just gonna go straight from the client draft, and that's totally fine. It just would, would help if you told your production what you're gonna do beforehand, so they can be prepared for this sort of stuff. But it's fine. Everything's okay.
yeah.
We've got a difference in the bans this time around with Clown Gaming jumping over to the blue side. They are now fully changing up the draft strategy. The Zaya, the Rengar, and now the Rumble. That was such a problem in game one, taken away. Whereas Mad are now taking on that red side tax with the Orianna and the Cassante, but also we're going to take away that Jarvan, so a lot less focus on these bottom laners in this first round.
A little less Wombo available. Now, what we're going to have to see right now is where do we make an adjustment? And already we have a Callista. That is an adjustment. That is a change. We will have to see if we get that actual damage coming through, though, that was missing last game on the Nyla. Rel might be coming through for some more tactical inting, but instead we might be taking the Renata away from that Callista Renata combo.
I would not be too shocked if that gets locked in. And also, Renata specifically does help against tactical inting, because you can't trade 1-for-1 if the person you're trading with just comes back to life. Then it's totally fine. They're going to pair up that Renata Glass with the Ashe. I do really love this lane combo. It's so difficult to play against, and especially for a shorter range AD carry like Callista, as long as the Renata Ashe doesn't take a level 1, level 2 trade with the Callista lane, they should be doing just fine in this scenario.
Oh, yeah. At this point, you do have some options. I think what we really want to see is a solid engaged support coming out, something that can actually get in, and there's the Rel. We're just trading things around. No big deal. Now,
Rel potentially can flex into the jungle as well, so if they want to lock in something like a comfortable mid laner for Debonair, or maybe a top laner for Boil the Oil, try and ban out some of those counter picks in the next round. But maybe instead we're just going to lock in a jungler and totally remove that flexibility. That's also fine too. That will also work, as it looks like Sejuani is the thought process right now. I do like this pick already.
nope.
No, we're going to move that Rel into the jungle.
Let's go.
Absolutely baited me. Blitzcrank Kalista is a terrifying lane to play against. You remember everything I said about Renata Ashe being a difficult lane to play against? Sometimes it's very hard to try and trade into them. Never mind.
Nope.
Throw all that
Scoop.
out of the window. Blitzcrank Hook will win you the lane or it will lose you the lane, and there will be no in between.
Absolutely. Now we are gonna have to see if we actually get Cryogen transitioning from being the highest damage dealer on his team to snagging everyone.
That's an interesting ban that Mad have opted to do for this one. The Morgana takeaway. I'm wondering if this is just maybe a pocket pick for Debonair that we haven't seen just yet, or if they think the Blitzcrank is going to go somewhere other than support. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe just
Maybe a cat walked across the keyboard. I don't know.
It happens from time to time. Sometimes you just, you have something else banned, and your cat walks across the keyboard and says, no, we're going to ban Morgana instead. It happens, as the Clown Gaming side is going to opt to pinch that top lane pool a little bit more, take away the Jax, get some more safety for Boil the Oil up there on the top side, and the Gwen as well. This is telling me that they are looking for a potential fighter or tank matchup in this top side.
Yeah, what I really want to see from Boil the Oil is something that can calm down a little bit. If he can just play through the lane, not be, 6 kills in the hole, and just push through. I'm not trying to just be mean to Boil the Oil, by the way. If he listens to this later, I swear, I'm not just hating on you to hate on you. I'm legitimately rooting for you to do better this game. We've all had the shitty game,
Happens to the best of us, absolutely.
Ooh,
But
a Silas. I love that. Nope.
Silas
LeBlanc.
potentially. I
Hate
don't
that.
actually feel I don't like LeBlanc here. Into Poppy Talia, I'm not a huge fan of
Oh,
this. This is a
tragic.
dangerous pick.
Oh, and the Riven.
I feel like we are picking a lot of high mobility into Poppy Talia, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
very
this is
concerned about
not
it.
where I would have gone with this draft. I don't hate the Riven as much as I hate the LeBlanc.
As a blind pick, it scares me. This is a confidence pick from Boil the Oil. If this does get locked in, no,
And
they're just
let's
baiting
go
us.
faked out.
They're just baiting us. It's the Ornn. Everybody loves having an Ornn on their team, and I think this is a fantastic pick for
My
Clown Gaming. You
problem
have some
with
consistent frontline now.
my problem is still this LeBlanc, who I don't think gets max value in this game at all.
I'm not sure she gets to play the game, in all honesty. Versus Poppy Talia, how much can you do?
Now, if you can find an angle on Ash, maybe you can blow her up, and at that point, damage is gutted. If you take out either Ash or Talia, but I just don't think LeBlanc was the pick to do it.
Yeah, I think LeBlanc is going to have a lot of difficulty piloting versus Talia Poppy. That distortion does get stunned up by the Talia rocks. It does get knocked down by that steadfast presence from Poppy. And Ash, while she is immobile, she'll have the bailout. She'll have Renata on top of her. And if they're playing around their bottom lane, it's going to also have Talia and Poppy nearby, ready to stop the LeBlanc. So it really is just going to be a solo dive mission from Devin Errant. I mean, we saw what he did on Yone in game one. He looked really good when he had a gold lead, was confident, got that carry in, and now won't be able to build Hullbreaker. So this is going to be a much more team fight efficient champion, maybe a more team fight efficient build. But we'll have to see how much they're actually allowed to do, because I feel like Mirage Alliance Developmental have a lot of tools that are good at shutting this LeBlanc down.
Yeah, I think that if I'm looking at these two drafts, I would rather be on the side of Mirage. I think that they have a slightly easier to play through composition. And honestly, if everything else is equal, you always want to be on the side that's easier to execute.
Mhm.
I actually kind of love the Olaf pick. Just
Yeah, the
just
Olaf
run it down.
is a pick that can always be so scary when you're playing top lane. If he lands one axe on you before you're level 2 or 3, that lane might just end. It might just be over right there. He might just press ghost and kill you. We'll have to see if Boil the Oil can calm it down a little bit in the top side, can start to scale it out, as it's a much more different style of composition for Clown Gaming this time around, or if Mirage Alliance can pick up that snowball and really throw down the gauntlet and see how aggressive they can play. We're going to take a short break, just a couple of minutes while we load on to Summoner's Rift, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back for game 2 of Clown Gaming versus Mirage Alliance Developmental.
And we're back on the Rift for game 2. Now, we're watching as we are most likely going in for a fun Blitzcrank invade. It wouldn't be a Blitzcrank game unless you did this at least one time.
Yeah, this is what level 1 Blitzcrank looks like, and you can see the members of MAD know it. They are positioning for it, as Levitate is going to spot out Cryogen, force the flash trade immediately.
The silly part is the hook still almost hit someone.
Not on
like
purpose, but, you know, it happens.
Just about, yeah. Oh, that would have made my entire week. But instead, we're going to walk back to lane.
Yeah, with the flashes being traded, Blitzcrank, of course, has Hex Flash, which is going to make the early laning phase for Levitate and Snow very, very difficult. It is kind of just what happens on these aggressive supports. You take Hex Flash, you burn your flash early, you trade it with somebody else, and you're happy. As we see a potential late invade actually here for Mirage. They're going to look to try and interrupt Excelsis on these Raptors. There's no information of it just yet. Levitate is going to be spotted by Excelsis here. And they're just going to zone him away from this camp at level 1. So he is going to have to go and start towards that Wolves. I see my Dream LPL walking down, and surely he's not going to walk into this Wolf camp, right? They wouldn't be that cruel with this realm, would they? No, he's just going to walk down, get some information, to walk away.
Honestly, I don't actually know if level 1 Olaf wins there.
I have to assume he does with Undertow, surely.
Actually, honestly, with all of the bonus stats you grab from just being Rel with W, I mean, sorry, no. You just have to train the camp on him.
But with the early game shenanigans over, Cryogen is ever actually going to be forced to sit back a little bit, just wait for a better time to find a hook, as with My Dream LPL staying out of that top lane for a little bit longer. Let's boil the oil, hit level 2 comfortably and safely, so there's no level 1 Olaf shenanigans where he's going to press that Undertow button and make you burn a flash or a teleport in the case that he kills you. But it is Ornn lane, so I think he's just gonna sit back, let Olaf push waves, and be happy doing so.
We're getting pushed out over on the bot side by Levitate. Nothing too surprising. Honestly, some really solid poke going both ways in the mid lane.
Both junglers bottom
looking
side.
at a dive.
One LT is here, but is going to get aggressed on, actually, as the hook comes through. The Ignite is there. The dash away. Oh, the Guardian to keep alive for a little bit longer. Zev misclicks the auto. But a nice flash forward from Excelsis to drain Snow back. Now Levitate is the target. The spears are stacking up. That Rend is waiting and ready. Zev will pull it and pull first blood for Cryogen and get the second kill for himself. It's a beautiful 3 versus 3 in the bottom lane for Clown Gaming.
Truly tragic that they...
I think they removed that, did they not? I'm fairly certain in their recent patch they removed that.
But great plays overall to actually get the Kalista Blitzcrank ahead. And that's really what's important here. Don't mind the fact that Poppy just walked out of that for basically free.
She lost her flash and a lot of HP. It was very close. The Guardian from Snow, really the only thing that kept that Poppy alive there. And with that, it does mean Hex Flash for Poppy, so she'll be able to still make influence on the map, but it's Hex Flash for Rel too, and Hex Flash for Cryogen. Everybody's got a Hex Flash in this game. Burning your flash doesn't matter if you just have a better one on a shorter cooldown.
You get a Hex Flash, and you get a Hex Flash. Everybody gets a Hex Flash.
There's a reason it's just really good, and it's hard to argue against taking it on champions where your flash is such an important tool, like Blitzcrank and like Rel. I'm not shocked to see everybody have it in this game.
Top lane does not look nearly as one-sided this time. However, it does look very boring.
Yeah, it's Ornn matchup, so that's kind
And
of just how top lane goes. He's gonna sit there and farm, and you're just gonna have to accept it.
I won't lie, you probably want boring. You This is just the way you want this lane to be going.
Zev gonna get dove on the bottom side, but Cryogen is here. Draxler has rotated over, flashes in for the engagement onto Excelsis. The hook lands onto Snow, though. Beautifully played by Cryogen. The Rend will pull Snow out. He's got the bailout, but not for long. Zev's gonna pick up one.
Oh.
Debonair will grab the other. Cryogen now potentially in trouble. Levitate is trying to get those autos in, but the mana barrier just a little bit too good. The Rend from Callista will pick up Levitate. Zeb survives, and it's a double kill for the Callista. 4 kills at 5.5 minutes for this Callista. Clown Gaming feeling good about their bottom lane.
All right, now kill a turret.
Gotta get those objectives. You gotta look for a dragon, a turret, something.
Please turn these kills into something. You have a 2,000 gold lead at 6 minutes into this game. You have to do something. Oh, pull him, let's go. Oh.
Cryogen doesn't have
there's
the
no mana.
for pull, so he will just have to walk away from this, but in the meantime, engage on the mid lane. Excelsis is going to find a nice stun. The chains will land as well. Debonair should just be donated this kill. Excelsis doing the jungler's work, getting his laners fed. This is exactly what you want to see out of a Rel.
Absolutely. This particular Rel actually doing a little bit more. Turns out when you have a budget, you get to do a little bit more around the map.
You don't have to just die 10 times to make things happen if you're earning money yourself.
Exactly. That's that big brain play. Have money, win game.
Yeah, and with all the money that Clown Gaming have grabbed in this early game, and the priority in the bottom side that they have is nice trade from Debonair here, just gonna take half of Traxxas out the way. They're gonna get themselves an early Hex Tech Dragon. Cryogen. Hex flashes, doesn't get the movement predict. I like what he was looking for there. You saw what he wanted. Draxler just outplaying it in the micro. But that's an objective. This is what we wanted to see out of Clown Gaming. They've already got the early dragon stacking for themselves. The Ocean Dragon should be the next to spawn up, and got a Hex Flash over the wall here. This is potentially dangerous as Excelsis is going to take a tower shot, but Levitate already so low. But the Avengers have arrived from Mirage Alliance. It's a nice knockback onto Zev. He'll pick up one, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. In 1LT will find that kill and the shutdown gold. But Draxler, maybe the one in trouble. It's a nice shield from the Renata. The stuns are there. Debonair will find that kill. Excelsis staying alive with a sliver of HP. Now, maybe in trouble. Doing a little bit of Alco Gaming. Cryogen running forward, trying to make something done. Trying to get that knock up in. Can't find the hook. It will just be the kill picked up for the Poppy. Again, Excelsis finding a nice stun onto Snow. He's a 1 HP. He will eventually fall. And in 1LT, we'll find the shutdown gold onto the LeBlanc. And as the junglers walk away, it's a 4 kills for Poppy. But it's still gold lead in favor of Clown Gaming.
You know, if someone were to try to ask me, right, at the beginning of this game, who's going to have all of the kills for Mad?
Excelsis. Stunned up. Yeah, the shot on his tower might keep alive. No, the level up in the buckler is going to keep L1 LT safe for now. As in the meantime, top lane is not boring anymore. Boil the Oil getting engaged on is going to dash away from the Olaf. He's got the autos on. He's Ragnarocking the Ornn in the 1-versus-1.
Yeah, you gotta create a little bit more space if you're going to actually get that CC immunity to drop. It's kind of tragic, but it is what it is. That's what Olaf does. There is a pretty sizable CS lead, though, once again, in favor of My Dream LPL. He's been having a great series so far. You can really see that he has a really...
We're working on our synergy. We're figuring it out.
In
this matchup, it's a little bit more expected. Olaf should be getting this far ahead of an Ornn. Ornn is happy to just sit back and accept the LP, or not LP, the CS deficit. I'm worrying too much about my ranks recently. It's a nice hook from Cryogen on the Poppy. He'll find a stun onto Zev, but with the cleanse and the Rend, Zev will find some shutdown gold. The 6-kill Callista, picking up more money in her pocket. Gotta be feeling happy on that one.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Callista getting to pick up the shutdown on top of all of these other kills it feels great, especially when you're losing in the
And
CS.
flashes forward, finds the hook on the levitate! Beautifully found! The bailout's there, just one more auto to guarantee it for Zeb. Snow gonna get engaged on with that Fate's Call. They'll give the kill over to Debonair as a little consolation prize. And Clown Gaming, heavily in control this time around.
Now kill a turret.
It's still pre-14. The plates are there. Those turrets are very tanky, but if they can get some plates, grab a Herald, they're doing good. This is what we want to see. They're transitioning their gold lead into objectives.
You're at nearly 2 kills a minute at 10 minutes for this game. You know, you gotta turn it into something. That's all. I want to see the snowballing actually snowball.
This is something we talked about a little bit off broadcast. The snowball being really good for Clown Gaming. They got ahead. They got their gold leads. They played really well with it, but they just didn't transition it into objectives. They didn't find those dragons, those turrets, those barons that you want off of those after that gold lead until it was too late, until Mirage could already find their way back into the game.
That was a weird seismic shove. Not gonna lie.
Nice sidestep from Debonair. He'll stay alive for a little bit longer, but not long for this world. The Poppy will find the shutdown, and again, it's this jungler for Mirage Alliance with all of the kills and all of the money, aside from the one solo kill that My Dream LPL has gotten.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that Poppy's where you want that money.
Yeah, I do think you would prefer to have that money on Talia or Ashe. But speaking of Talia, it's looking like potentially Drax are looking for a play on this bottom side. Did move over a ward as Zev is going to step away from that. It's a nice hook by Cryogen to delay Draxler a little bit longer. A great handshake from Snow to keep Excelsis away from that crash down, but Debonair has rotated. Zev is here with the Blade of the Ruined King. And the members of Mirage Alliance are not much longer for this world. It was
what
a nice
gentlemanly
handover. But it's a better collapse from Clown Gaming. Yeah, what a handover. Zev says, alright, I've already got 8 kills. Debonair needs some money too. I'll let him have this one.
They were both just standing there like, oh, you could take it, sir. No, you. You know, it's just one of those classy moments in League of Legends esports.
And that is a sign of great communication and great teamwork. And that's what you want to see when you have these 5v5 competitive style games. As Snow gonna get engaged on, forced to flash away. A nice hook again from Cryogen, forcing that summoner. But now Excelsis not flashing. The seismic shove might spell your demise. Gonna look for a stun. Won't be able to find it. Draxler will find that kill, his first of the game. A little bit over-aggressiveness from Clown Gaming, but that's fine. They were looking for the objectives. They were looking for the kills. That's what we want to see out of them. This is good stuff. Oh, this is not good stuff, though. Is Zev now in trouble?
Right.
A nice flash away will get him to safety for now. There's that hostile takeover to seismic shove. It's just a little bit too much. They're going to give the kill over to Drax or get him a couple more kills and some more money. The bailout and the shield from Snow, keeping him safe from the double dash of Debonair. And speaking of double dashes, oh, a beautiful flash away from that wall charge. Now the hook in. The fight's just continuing. Draxler, though, still healthy and happy to continue throwing these rocks down as Poppy, again, will find another kill. And it's just, again, it's kills on kills. This series is nothing but blood.
And now Excelsis is sitting in a rough spot.
Yeah, 1 versus 4 under your own tower. Not exactly the spot you want to be as the Rel. Renata will pick that one up. And somehow everyone on the map has gotten a kill before the Mirage Alliance AD carry has gotten one.
And just like that, the gold lead's gone. In fact, for a very brief moment, Mirage Alliance actually had about 100 gold lead. It's rough. You want to see...
cancel. Oh, goodbye, Levitate. Hello, Zev. Picking up his 9th kill of the game.
Turns out when you don't have a super mega death rocket, it's a little harder to just tap all those kills to death.
Yeah, the Ashe kind of struggling for money in this game. 0, 5, and 6. Hasn't completed that cull yet. He's ahead in farm over Zev, but Zev just got full first tower blood with plates. It's feeling good for the Callista in terms of the gold lead he's got. But in the meantime, mid lane Cryogen is going to be forced to flash away. Enchanted Crystal Arrow finds Debonair. He'll get that distortion away and be a little bit safer under tower. So he will manage to be fine on that play. But ooh, that looked rough for a second.
Yeah, it's nice to have almost 20 CS lead, but it's a little nicer to have 9 kills.
Yeah, I do want to just pull our attention to the gold difference between these two AD carries. With Levitine sitting on 4,500 gold, which for 15 minutes into the game, respectable amount. It's not good, but it's not bad. Zeb has 8,000.
Yeah.
He's a little fed right now, surprisingly.
I will say that Kalista, not known for being like the heaviest scaling champion, but to be honest, Ashe isn't your high damage AD carry either.
Yeah,
Ashe is a
he is
utility
mostly
carry.
utility.
So the real question is, if Ashe is not able to actually do it,
Fancy footwork gets away from that worked ground, and LT,
Ooh.
he is finally gonna die. The Rend picking up Zev's 10th of the game, and some nice footwork from the 2v2 of the Clown Gaming.
And back in top lane, we have minions dying.
Yeah, every time we pan up the top lane, it's just the farm going a little bit one way or the other. It is a 30 CS lead for My Dream LPL, and he's gotten a lot of gold in his pocket. He's sitting on that Ravenous Hydra. He's comfortable with his spot in the lane, and now with the lifesteal, I don't think there's any real way that you're pushing this Olaf out of this lane.
Olaf is more than 10 CS a minute right now.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, like there's not even anything significantly wrong with the CS coming out of Ornn. It's
My
just
maybe in trouble. He'll pop that Ghost and the Ragnarok. He's gonna get very low HP, but he will manage to survive the play.
Yeah, without the actual CC proc coming through, the brittle doesn't break. It doesn't actually get the damage through that could have potentially finished off that Olaf. I think he was still fine even if that brittle popped.
Looking to get aggressive. The bailout for Snow, but there's no kill to be had in return. Debonair will find that one in 1LT. Forced to run away. Levitate taking a nice chunk to the back at the end of that one. But this is the Fed Kalista. She's already 2 items at 16 minutes, and this is what Clown Gaming needs to be playing around. You found the kill. What's the objective we can look for?
Yeah, it's rough when the Kalista has almost as many kills as your whole team.
You're right about that one. I can't argue with that. That's just facts.
Yeah.
Oh, Excelsis actually knocked out of the pit. Zev now stuck in a 1 versus 2. It is going to be in 1LT. Just looking for the Herald, trying to trade, but the Kalista does so much damage. I think she picked up the Herald. I think she got the eye.
She hit the eye.
That's the eye. That's the pickup for Zev. The face call the knock up the Poppy as well. The bailout is there. Zev will actually die. The burst damage from Drax is just too good. Debonair teleports in and finds the shutdown gold onto the back of that. Boil the oil, dies on the backside from that Ragnarok up Dream of LPL, but Debonair picks up a double kill. Excelsis will fall, and it's a messy trade. It's 3 for 3 at the end of it, but it's Herald for Clown Gaming.
Yeah. What the hell?
Agreed. Big agreed.
Like, I did not actually see if Poppy had Smite at the moment that died. But honestly, if you're just even paying close enough attention when you're taking the Herald, you should just take that as Poppy. There shouldn't be really a fight for that.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing with the Poppy ultimate. You get that Keeper's Verdict off, and no junglers nearby. With the eye plus the smite, you should be able to secure that objective. So I think it was rather surprising that Zeb got that auto off. I thought once the red stacks fell off, for sure, it was just going to be a nice, clean Herald steal for Mirage, but objective secured from Clown Gaming.
Now, we are still at a pathetically low turret score right now for both teams.
Yeah, 1 and 2 for both. As Debonair is just gonna make Draxus lose a lot of his HP as the hook gonna go a little bit wide. A nice sidestep from Snow will keep it safe. But now with the Herald popped in mid lane, no platings on this turret, but this should be a guaranteed turret kill for Cloud Gaming. That's what we want to see out of him. My Dream LPL, though, looking for the plating. Channel Crystal Arrow will go wide. Poke over the wall. I'm not sure if this is the target they want, but the knockout lands before the Ragnarok does, which means that Zeb should just be able to knock him down. Eventually, the bailout is there, but Zeb, I don't think, can die before this happens. It's a nice 2-minute knockout from N1LT, though. In response, he'll pick up Zeb. Shutdown gold, he did already go over. Call the Force God, though, on the other side of the fight. There's that hostile takeover on to Boil the Oil. He's in trouble. It's Ornn. He's not moving too much further out of this fight. Levitate should just be able to throw some arrows and pick him up eventually, as Excelsis and Poppy are going to trade. Debonair looking to support his jungler. There's that Magnet Sword. They're going to pull Poppy further away from the team, but Poppy's just happy moving forward. There's that bailout. They might just be able to kill Excelsis in time and save Poppy's life.
That is the second bailout that has worked in favor of this Poppy.
Look, Renata plays favorites. She is a heartless capitalist. She knows exactly who she wants to play for, and if you have money, she does love you.
And that is the problem with society right now.
It's a nice objective secure for Mirage, as they did win that fight, pushed into the enemy jungle. They do use that opportunity to take this first Cloud Dragon for themselves and slow down that soul stacking by at minimum 5 minutes.
So, question for you. A serious, important question.
Gonna have to put that on pause. Ragnarok popped under tower. It's a hook, though, over the wall. It's gonna force the flash out of snow. But it is the turret going down in favor of Mirage. Again, they're finding the objectives. They're playing where they need to. Hang on, I can't say anything just yet. It's another engage from the mid lane. Cryogen doesn't find the hook that time around. Zev does so much damage onto this Kalista. He feels insane.
We're in yet another situation where Clown Gaming was able to get really strong early leads, and now the towers are falling against them.
Knock back. Excelsis potentially in trouble. Still holding on to that crash down, but it is just Levitate finding that kill. Debonair looking for some damage. There's that call of the Force God into the corridor. Only finds the knock up onto one, but the damage is there. Zev will find Levitate. It's a nice knock up on it to Snow. He's going to get that hostile takeover for himself. It's the Ren for the double kill in 1LT. Potentially in trouble. My Dream LPL has ghosted in. He wants the damage. He's trying to find the kills. He's Ragnarok on top, flashing forward onto Debonair to find the shutdown gold. Zev will find a triple kill for himself. Maybe looking for more. It's going to be a quadra for the Kalista. Can he find it? He's dashing forward. He's hopping and he finds the slow. Give him the penta kill!
Absolutely beautiful pentakill for Zev there. Everyone playing for that. This is still a kind of ballsy Baron going on here, especially with their health bars as they are.
I don't hate it. I think it's doable.
We have a Renata and an Ashe coming out. I did not see if a Hawk shot went over.
Okay, there's that blue ward. They will have vision on it. That knockup might delay him by just a little bit too much. Vision in the pit. The Callista Spears are stacked up to hell and high water. Snow's just going to get hooked over the wall. The Rend is there. They'll pick up the... Renata basically has a consolation prize alongside the Baron that they get.
Ooh, the bonuses going through. Now, here's where you have to ask. Does the Poppy have enough gold?
Right now, she's got nearly 9,000, which, you know, for a jungler at this point in the game, a very respectable amount.
Yeah. It's not 15,000.
Zev does have 15,000. That is worth mentioning. The Callista has a little bit of money in her pocket. She's got 4 items. Levitate has 2. So I think as long as Cloud Gaming can keep Zev alive and make sure that the GA and the Shield Bow and the Rel and the Blitzcrank don't let anything happen to her, you just let Callista do the work and you make sure she gets anything and everything she wants.
Yeah, I think if you're playing on the side of Mad, really what you want to do is just throw the Olaf and the Poppy at Zev. If you get the kill, you win.
If you don't, you just go next.
Yeah, it's a big oof at that point. But, you know, it's the play you got to make at this point.
The Olaf really is the threat for this Callista. I mean, aside from potentially a bailout or an Enchanted Crystal Arrow if that cleanse is down, but with all of this front line for the Callista, it feels so difficult to find the crowd control, to find these extra bits of damage. As, speaking of, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to go very wide. Cryogen finds a hook, but you're a little bit alone right now, so he's just going to pop the Shurelya's and run away from the play instead.
It's about sending a message.
True.
It's about showing them who is boss.
Speaking of showing them boss, my Dream LPL is gonna get ignited. Ragnarok is on, but it's just a little bit too late. The Rend is there. Zeb looking to continue to be aggressive. There's that steadfast presence. 4-in-1 LT, but Zeb is so fast onto the Kalista, splashing forward into Levitate, getting those spears down. The Keeper's Verdict, though, will finally send the Kalista packing. Levitate maybe looking to turn this around instead. Crash down for Excelsis away as Cryogen can't find the hook over the wall, but his Aftershock on Excelsis, he's very tanky. Cryogen's gonna flash in. They're gonna keep him alive and let Zeb rotate back into the play. Snow will eventually have to flash away, and it's just winning on the map for Clown Gaming.
Look, those were their tanks. Well, minus Warren. All they had to do was survive long enough for Kalista to walk the long way back.
Yeah, and that's all you really have to do. It was a really nicely played by Clown Gaming. They didn't over-engage. They didn't overextend. They waited for Kalista to be in threat range, and then they went in. That's exactly how you play it. Perfectly done.
And this time, they killed some turrets, too.
Truly, this is the Clown Gaming roster that we wanted to see. This is how we wanted this game to go.
Absolutely. Maybe next game I won't have to remind them.
But hey, this is what we, maybe a bit shaky in the mid game. This is what we were wanting to see. They got aggressive in the early game. They got their snowball, and they're keeping their foot on the pedal. They're pushing down objectives. They're taking fights. They're taking turrets. They're gonna take this dragon, I hope, soon, and push themselves to Soul Point and potentially look to end this game either off of an Elder or off of a Baron take.
Yeah, and we do see the Ashe build starting to kind of come through a little bit more. We see Ashe on about 2.5 items. They need Levitate to have some damage. And it's going to be rough. Levitate's going to be a ways away from having real damage.
Yeah, it is the Trinity Force Kraken Slayer. I'm assuming that's going to be probably a Phantom Dancer or a Runa's next, but it's a hook from Cryogen again onto that high-value target of the Olaf, but he's got the Jack Show. He's going to stay alive for a little bit longer. There's that call of the Forge God, finding the knockup on the dude, Boil and Oil. Flashing forward, finds the knockup off that pillar. Can't find it onto those high-value targets, so it is just the flashes away. And everyone from Mirage survives, but they're losing a lot of health bars, and they don't have any priority in this mid lane.
Yeah.
So they're going to lose something off of this.
Critically, they don't really have the ults to fight this either. Of course.
Celsius maybe a little bit caught. The Blast Cone is going to take him away, but he's got the Radiant Virtue. He'll stay alive. Zeb is going to go legendary, pushing himself into the fight. He's jumping forward again. He wants another one. Give him the triple. Give him the quadra. He wants 2 in 1 game. Draxer, give it to him. No, Debonair, the absolute scumbag, will steal it away.
Truly a heinous individual.
How dare!
Stealing the pentakill.
Only a quadra. Only 23, 4, and 10 for Zeb. A disastrous performance for him. Honestly, we really do expect better out of this Clown Gaming AD carry.
F in the chat for Zeb this game. But great game for Cloud Gaming as they pull out the Game 2 victory and send this into a 3rd game.
Yeah,
man, it's gonna be a late night, isn't it?
It might be, but it's a great showing from Clown Gaming. It was all of the stuff that we talked about in that first draft, the problems that we had with it, the issues of, oh, well, they just don't have enough snowballing. They can't get those objectives in the mid lane game. They can't push their lead forward. They played this game, I'm not going to say perfectly. They did play a little bit shaky in the mid game, but they showed up. They played their heart out, and they looked great doing it.
Yeah, I think what we learned here is that maybe Zev should be allowed to do damage.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
He essentially doubled what anyone else did.
Yeah, when the highest damage in the game is 40,000 and the next highest is 25, you're feeling pretty good about your carry in that particular game. We'll have to see if Clown Gaming can replicate this success in Game 3 and reverse sweep the series, or if Mirage Alliance are going to try and shut them down in this Game 3. We're going to take a short break while we get ourselves ready for the draft. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Game 3. And we have on blue side, Mirage Alliance Developmental, and on red side, Clown Gaming. I am once again Allram, and this is Britty, and we are jumping in for draft. And immediately, the Callista, no surprise here, taken away.
Yeah, you'd see a 23-4 Callista on the enemy team. I think in the next game you decide, yeah, we're probably going to ban that one. I don't think we're going to let that one through this time around. This draft is actually looking eerily similar of what we saw in game 1. I think the teams are going back to the strategies that they had for their respective red and blue sides. So I do wonder if Clown Gaming are going to continue on that path of we're going to ban Cassante, we're going to ban Oriana, we're just going to focus on those meta picks that are just too strong and we cannot let through.
Yep, the tax has been paid. Now let's see if anything else interesting comes out here.
I'm curious to see if the Renata will still be the takeaway now that the Callista is taken away. Yeah, they are going to stick with that full draft phase, taking away all of that bottom lane focus. And if everything goes as expected, it should just be a Xayah ban here for Clown Gaming. Maybe we'll just get the full salty run back of game 1. Brel first pick into Senna Maokai, just try that game again. See if it works better this time around.
You know what? I wouldn't be mad as long as they pick something other than Nyla this time. I really love Nyla, and I love Nyla
Ooh.
Senna, but I just don't think that Nyla is the champion to get the most out of this ADC player.
Yeah, and instead of taking away that Zaya, they are going to opt to take away the Rumble instead. That was such a huge problem for them, even game one. So now with that top laner banned away, will Mirage stick with that Rel first pick, or are they going to opt to take away the Maokai instead? Okay, they're leaving the Rel up for Clown Gaming to flex around with. But it's a question of what do they want to pair it with, or do they want Excelsis on that in the jungle again?
Yeah, we have the flex available if we grab the Rel here, but do they want it? I mean, honestly, there have been a lot of deaths on Rels in these last couple of games, and they are going to go back to the Senna pick.
Okay.
You know what? That's fine. Cryogen had a great
Absolutely.
performance on Senna. It's just a matter of what do you pair it with? How do you actually make that lane work for you? Now that you know that maybe they've figured out the Nyla.
Yeah, I am curious what they pair with the Senna. We talked about it in the first draft that Senna does have so many potential pairings and combinations. That's a very early Renekton lock in.
Oh, I hate that.
I'm gonna say I'm not super excited about it. Renekton is not a bad blind pick, but if we're being frank in this game, this has not been Boyle the Oil's best series. I think his best performance was on that Ornn being there and supportive for the team. And now you're playing into Maokai plus Aatrox Jason. It is just not a comfortable game for a Renekton to play through.
All right. So, hear me out. You could go with like the Senna Seraphine here and just out heal the poke. Like, what's Jace gonna do when he's burned all of his mana trying to get through their health bars?
I do like the thought, but instead they're going to lock in the Swain, which does have that flexibility to go down bot lane with the Senna. Swain Senna is a pretty potent bottom lane 2 versus 2 combo. With the
And there's
Zayaban,
the Zayaban.
yeah, it wasn't picked up in that first rotation, so Clown Gaming will be able to take that one away again. And with no Rumble on the table, the Jarvan is much less of a priority pick for Mirage, but they see Swain and Renekton and say, you know what, we don't want to let either of our mobile carries get stuck into Cataclysm. We're just going to take that one away. I think that's a smart call.
Yeah, I think this is so far pretty solid. Kaisa dropping, high high tier ADCs gone. Now, hurry up. There's the Sejuani. So, they're really trying to kind of pigeonhole the options for Engage coming over from there. Are we going to get the Nocturne this time, though? I don't really like the Nocturne into what's currently on the table, but, could be
Bel'Veth is a
worse.
possibility. But with the Senna already locked in, I don't really feel like you need a carry jungler.
And I think, oh,
There we
we
go.
got
It's
the
going to be
Rel.
the Rel instead. So it can either be the farming Senna in the bottom lane with Rel. You can have that Swain go into the mid lane, or you can have Senna Swain in the bottom side, put Rel into the jungle, and have something else picked up for your mid lane instead. I do like the flexibility that Clown Gaming has for themselves here. It's going to mean that they're going to be able to craft that perfect composition to counter what it is that Mirage is grabbing. And I see the Jinx. I'm ignoring the Shaco. That's not going to get locked in. But I see the Jinx that was already so successful for Levitate in game one, and I'm already starting to get a little worried.
There's a part of me, right, that really wants them to lock the Shaco just to like reverse
This is a
bait
smart
you.
pick, though. Surely we're not locking that in. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there
Alistair.
we
There
go.
we go. No chance we're locking in Shaco in a real game of League of Legends. Nobody likes that champion. It is the Alistair instead. Jinx Alistair is a great 2v2. I'm not surprised to see that one locked in. I would have really liked the Seraphine actually for this Mirage Alliance composition. So as a Clown Gaming fan, happy to see them not pick that one up, but a little surprised as I think it pairs really well with the champions that they have.
Okay, so all right, this is a comp. This is one of the comps of all time.
Yeah,
Uh,
Silas locked in to counter the Maokai, grab his ulti, and with Alistair as well, you're already even more incentivized to pick up the Silas. So I'm not too shocked to see that one locked in. I think it's a great pick for Clown Gaming, and I'm really excited to see what Debonair can do on this melee hyper carry.
yeah, this is definitely another one of those comps that I would label like death bally in favor of Clown Gaming. I'm not as big on the Renekton personally, but Silas Swain backed up by a Senna, those are some heal tanks if you ever saw one. Uh, do have to contend with the fact that your fights kind of have to go long for you to do the damage to kill people. Uh, you do have the Jace and the Jinx as pretty solid targets to attack. And honestly, you can just stack armor on Rel and Renekton. There's there's no credible AP threat on the side of Mad.
Yeah, you really are just worried about the Maokai. And this is something that we talked about in game one for Clown Gaming. They had the Maokai plus AD solo laners. And now Mirage have fallen into that same sort of pick pattern. They do have a bigger hyper carry in the Jinx. The Neela would struggle to do that same kind of damage that Jinx can do in the mid and late game. But it is still a very physical damage heavy profile for these sides. And Renekton already into the Aatrox is incentivized to get those armor boots. Silas into Jace in the same way. Swain, even if he doesn't want to grab the magic penetration boots, would love a pair of steel caps. I always want to call them tabbies.
Just
It's
call them tabbies. Screw Riot. We do what we want here.
I like the name plated steel caps because I think it makes more sense. If they
The
were going to
shop
introduce
still pulls it up if you type in
I'm sure
tabbies.
it does because Riot knows that players are old and stubborn. But anyway, I like the composition that Clown Gaming have for themselves. I'm worried about the Renekton. I think it could struggle versus the Aatrox, but everything else on the map gives me a lot of confidence. Swain Senna is a very obnoxious 2 versus 2 for a low mobility AD carry to play through. We saw Excelsis on Rel in the jungle last game. He looked fantastic. We know that Debonair in this mid lane can play these mid lane assassins, these mid lane hyper carries. And Silas with a Maokai ult and an Alistar ult that he can just take back and forth as much as he wants, it's a happy Silas.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm gonna talk to you, Boil the Oil. You and me right now.
All right, we're listening.
Games 1 and 2, they're done. They don't matter. The gold resets, it turns out. This is game 3. This is a best of 1 to move forward. Please. Please. Just kill the man. just kill the man. Just take his life one time. That's all I
Very
ask.
simple instructions.
And then kill a tower.
Kill the enemy, kill a tower. That's how you play League of Legends. We're going to take a short break while we get loaded into Summoner's Rift. We'll see you back here in just about under a minute. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We are back for one more game. It's 11:50 at night Eastern. We're tired. We're here, and there's probably going to be another 60 kills. Let's go.
I'm ready to shout my lungs out for another win for Clown Gaming. We do see the very standard 5-point for both sides this time. No Blitz Cranks, no Nautiluses, no Hook Champs, so no crazy level 1 plays this time around. But we do have a very interesting bottom lane matchup that you don't get to see very often. Senna Swain, I think, is a very underutilized 2 versus 2 combo that can be so obnoxious to play against. And I'm excited to see what Zev and Cryogen can do on this pick.
I can tell you what they can do. They can abuse Alistar.
As they should.
All
For now,
right,
it
so
is
we have
just
a little bit of posturing going on, mostly just defensive. Nothing really interesting is going to happen here. We get the boring plays. It's not like old Swain, well, not old Swain, but previous Swain that could just grab anyone's CC for himself.
God, I remember the good old days when Swain was just the most obnoxious support with any crowd control. I'm glad that's gone. I'm glad he's in the form that he's currently in, as we see an attempt at an early aggression here from Debonair in the mid lane, but Draxler trades back nicely, and ooh, yeah, that's what Jace does in the early game. He makes you feel the pain. This Cryogen is just, playing Seta, happy to just be aggressive.
Snow is hiding in a bush because
That's how you
walking
play out,
forward
sir.
is banned.
Nice little pull from Zev is going to get a nice bit of damage, and to Soul for Cryogen. Both these junglers did start on the top side, and it's looking like both of them are actually going to go for full clears before they look for any sort of a gank. I think the attention is going to be mostly on this mid lane and bot lane, trying to get Silas ahead, trying to put the Jinx down, and trying to just keep that attention on the bottom side of the map. Play for those early dragons, play for the objectives, play for the early snowball.
We see a solid push coming in up on top side and on bot side here. Really, it's just mid where Clown is hurting right now. Now we are seeing a couple knockups potentially coming through for this Aatrox. All pretty even right now because they're fighting in the wave. Everyone has a hit to heal.
Celsius looking for some damage. Debonair is here to support. Going to get those chains over the wall. They're going to look for an engage on to the Maokai. Pick him up. The Celsius picking up first blood.
Absolutely no inting rels here. Only first blood rels.
Ooh, Boil the Oil getting dangerously close to finding a solo kill there. He's definitely listening to your advice. I think if there's a flash stun here, this could just be a dead Aatrox. He's maybe looking for it. He's got that stacked Fury. But I think with the level 4
I think Aatrox is healed up a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to survive it just fine. But hey, CS lead for Boil the Oil on the top side. It's just 2 right now. But a CS lead is a CS lead, and we will absolutely take those.
Yeah. Like we said, the gold resets. The game is fresh. Boil the Oil is here to play it out.
Debonair gets a nice trade in there with that King Slayer. Turns out that ability is really good at making sure the trades are favorable for you when you just get a free heal off of it.
Yeah, and the nice thing here... Oh,
looking for a knock.
big knockups.
The roots as well coming through for Levitate. Cryogen taking so much damage, but they can play in the mid lane as well as Draxler's just going to get dove on. But it's a nice 2-man Bramble Smash from L1T. Devin's going to take that ramped up tower shot, gets a flash over the wall, so he'll be able to survive a little bit longer. Snow, a nice flash headbutt to find Zev, get him in the backline. Levitate taking a lot of damage, though. Zev's going to get into that brush and get that, lose the aggro. Cryogen will get picked up. The Triumph for Levitate is going to keep him alive. Zev will get the trade back, but the minion standing behind Levitate will keep him safe from the never move. And it's 2 kills for the Jinx. That's not what you want to see if you're a Clown fan.
That was a fun bot lane fight. It may not have gone in Clown Gaming's favor, but it was a fun bot lane fight. I think that this is a much better setup for Levitate. I don't think that this is the kind of person you want to really put on the utility champion. And I think the Ashe was a mistake for them last game.
Cryogen is here with that miss. They're going to pull back a Draxler, but Snow is here with those boots. They're going to get aggressive onto Zev instead. It's just a level 3 Swain. Jace does a lot of damage in the early game, and Draxler will find his first.
Yeah, well, The CC advantage is in favor of Alistar. I don't like where this
Debonair,
Silas is
you're level
standing.
6, but you're in a 1 versus 3, my friend. He's going to look for a trade onto L1T, use those vines to get himself away. Going to force the flash out of Draxler, actually, as
Honestly,
L1T is still level 3. This is not the spot he wants to be as a Maokai jungle. Cryogen looking to get aggressive, will find the root, but with no vision, finally gets that piercing light over the top and finds that kill. Snow now forced to run away. Boily Oil has walked all the way down here to keep this play going, but with no flash on the Rel. They find a root onto Levitate, but Draxler is here. It's a nice knockup onto Excelsis. He's got the Aftershock, though. He'll be able to walk away. And it's just a chase down the river, but right now, my Dream LPL is having a dream in the top side, just getting free CS and free turret plates all day.
and he needed it because honestly, even with all that, CS is even. I do like the movement coming out from Boil the Oil. I think it's good that he's looking to play with his team instead of just sticking in the 1v1 forever. Oh,
Now he's level 5 versus level 6 onto this Aatrox. Just gonna dash in, grab that bone plating, dash away. He does have the Phage, so he'll have a little bit more regeneration when he does take these traits with the Aatrox, but I don't know, that walk lost him a lot of experience, so he'll be hitting level 6 a lot later than My Dream LPL will, and we've seen what this Aatrox can do with a lead. My Dream LPL has been having a really good series for himself, but instead, Boil the Oil is actually going to be the one getting aggressive. Pop that Dominus on the Aatrox, look to keep that aggression up. The Cold and Meat getting so much healing out as Cryogen gets engaged on. It's a nice 2-man pulverize from Snow. They'll get some damage into Levitate, but the burst is there, and now with the stun as well, Zev's going to get slowed up by the Zap. They're just going to donate more kills to the Jinx. It's not looking great.
you hate to see that. Honestly, this looks a lot like what you would expect this to look like if you're playing from the side of Mad. This is what you want your comp to do. You want to play aggressive on the Jinx, you want to get her ahead, and everyone else doing even or just fine is just icing. There isn't really anywhere on the map they're doing terribly bad. Jungle is pretty favored for Clown, but it's pretty manageable. Maokai doesn't need to be ahead.
Yeah, he's playing Maokai, so as long as he exists in the game, he's going to press R, his team's going to be happy. He doesn't need a lot of the gold, he doesn't need a lot of the kills, but you know who does need that golden kills? It's the Jinx, who they already have a majority of their gold on right now. She is feeling very happy about the spot she's in.
Oh, so close. So close.
Just a little bit too aggressive from the top side of Clown Gaming. I like the look. You want to punish this Aatrox. You know he doesn't have flash, but just wasn't happening that time around.
So close, Boyle. I just need you to do it one time. Kill the man.
With those plated steel caps, it is going to be a lot harder for Boil the Oil to find a lethal in this particular laning phase. But we've seen how he's been fighting, and he's already up about 15 CS, so it's not as though he's feeling bad about the spot he's in.
Oh, yeah.
We just want him to be feeling that little bit better.
Yeah, this is a good, solid place to be in for top lane. And there's a nice little soul for Senna. Good stuff.
With the pressure and the priority that Matt has in their bottom side, they are just going to take that first dragon. It's a Chemtech dragon. It's not the highest impact. And with the next one being Cloud, it means this soul is going to be impactful no matter what it ends up being. And if you're a Cloud Gaming fan, I think this is actually not the dragons you wanted to see. You wanted this to be a Cloud soul or an Ocean soul, something that isn't going to have the highest impact in the game.
Yeah, their objective take is pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you look at this side of Clown Gaming, they're gonna take 3 years to kill a Baron. Meanwhile, you have the Jinx on the other side, the Jace to a certain extent. You can burst down certain things. It's not like having say a Callista, but it's very workable, very doable.
This little trade from the top laners of both sides there. Boil the Oil managed to get the majority of that wave, so I don't think he's feeling too bad. But yeah, those plated steel caps are putting in work on this Renekton matchups. Those empowered Ws just are not hitting as hard as you really would want them to.
Yeah, the problem's going to be that Renekton, as a champion, doesn't really scale. He exists in a state where he's either winning or not.
Hmm.
Right now, he's slightly winning, but Aatrox is a champion who actually scales, who actually becomes a monster. Renekton's job was to bully him in lane. And he kind of did for a minute, but it never actually came about in a way that matters. And I think that this is going to start slowly turning in favor of Aatrox as we go along.
Yeah, I would love to see Boil the Oil actually pick up a quick pair of tier 2 boots for himself, try and grab something, as Snow is just gonna launch the Silas out of his jungle as Zev. It's a nice trade, but you're 2 levels down on the enemy AD carry. He doesn't feel great, but hang on, it's gonna be engaged instead. Zev flashing forward, looking for the damage on the Levitate. They know he doesn't have Cleanse, the Demon Flare. The healing, though, from Alistair will keep him alive for a little bit longer, but not long enough. It is Zev picking up that shutdown gold. And Snow, you're very tanky with that Unbreakable Will, but I do not think you're going to be tanky enough. It's a double kill for Zev on the Swain.
Nice. We did need to see Zev pulling some kind of comeback in. And this is looking pretty good. They're going to get a nice swing of gold from the tower plates as well.
Engage onto Cryogen. That tower shot did so much damage. It's a double kill for him on LT. It's just over aggression from Clown Gaming. Punish. They'll be able to pick up the jungler. Draxter now may be in trouble. The Super Mega Death Rocket does a lot of damage, though. Kingslayer will keep Debonair alive for a little bit longer. The chains are good. Zeb finds the last auto.
Beautiful comeback stuff. We're actually a little bit ahead in terms of Clown Gaming once again. Now it's just, okay, can they build it? Can they get a turret? Can they do a thing? I didn't even mean to pull out the joke again there, but, you know.
They're getting turret platings. They got that Herald pop on the bottom side, even though the fight maybe wasn't exactly what we wanted to see out of them. They got plates out of it. They got kills out of it. They got shutdown gold, importantly, on it to Zeb, and I think that's a really big deal for this Clown Gaming side. You have your Swain starting to get items, starting to get ahead. You also have your Silas, who is also looking really good and feeling pretty happy about the spot he's in this game. Yeah. This is where we want this snowball to be.
We're not watching Clown Gaming versus Mad for clean gameplay. We're watching it for fights.
Yeah, if we wanted to watch a clean series, we'd go watch the World Championship again. We're here to see fights and to see 2 kills a minute gameplay, and that's what we've been getting out of this series.
Absolutely. And now, at this point, I mean, we have some push coming back again in the bot lane. We have a good amount of gold that just swung over onto this Swain. We have Renekton not doing any damage whatsoever.
Give him a second. The bone plating proc was good, but Boil the Oil is going to get that Conqueror stacked up and take a decently healthy trade back into My Dream LPL. They're going to pop their ultis in trade of each other. That World Ender not doing too much, though, for the Aatrox. That big heal out of the passive, though. Boil the Oil just looking for that big cold of meat. Finds the heal.
Kill him!
In mid lane as well as Debonair. Maybe in a 1 versus 2. He's got that Kingslayer, though. He's feeling healthy. There's a flash forward from the Maokai. The Senna ulti over the top is going to keep him alive for another Kingslayer. He'll stay alive. M1LT will eventually fall to that Kingslayer again from Debonair. He'll stay alive for just long enough to get some damage in on Draxter, but the shutdown gold will go over. Now Draxter in the 1 versus 2. As the 2, not in the 1 versus 2, but Excelsa is forced to walk away, and it's shutdown gold going over to the Jace. Not exactly what we want to see as Boil the Oil. Maybe can find it. Looking for it. Oh, but the knockouts are better for My Dream LPL. He finds the solo kill.
He couldn't do it.
Engaging the bottom side now, Zev popping that Demon Flare, but the Super Mega Death Rocket is better for Levitate. He'll find that shutdown gold. Now Cryogen, the one in trouble, just looking to get some souls out of this exchange. Maybe actually can get a lot of damage down on the Levitate, but the crowd control for Snow is good. Debonair has teleported in, has rotated in, has that Unbreakable Will for himself. Snow just gonna delay a little bit of extra time with his own ulti. They'll eventually be able to pick him up. Donate that kill over to Debonair. Get him to 5-1 on the Silas.
You know, I have to give it to Debonair. He has been the superior mid lane in all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
I just, that's not even a shot at Draxter. I think he's been
Debonair
solid.
has the unbreakable will. I think he can actually 1 versus 2 this. He's going to pop that ulti onto himself, take up a lot of damage, do plenty to Draxler as well. Excelsis is rotating in from behind. This side is so tanky on this pick, and now with the Radiant Virtue as well, he's nearly unkillable. Draxler is forced to walk away, and now Maokai, poor Maokai, he'll get the Ramble Smash down for a slow. The chains don't find their mark, but the Kingslayer does. Debonair does so much damage on this pick. Now Levitate has rotated in. There's not a lot of engaged tools left. There's a nice cleanse, force a flash out of Excelsis. He'll stay alive for a little bit longer. That Super Mega Death Rocket available. Now Debonair's gonna have to tank for his teammate. The Shock Blast doesn't find it, but the Sapling does! Debonair can't find the chains. The Super Mega Death Rocket does enough damage, not enough, as the Shock Blast from Jace doesn't land, and now it's the rest of Clown Gaming forced to walk away. It's a flash forward from Snow, looking for more damage, looking to get the kill onto Cryogen, but the movement speed with Senna is too good. She's able to walk away. Levitate trying to get some damage now, but there's no kill to be found, and it's just one lost for Clown Gaming after that entire exchange.
Good stuns. Oh, some turret shots.
Yeah, My Dream LPL actually getting very low here, holding onto that World Ender for a long time. They're going to trade ultis again. My Dream LPL getting plenty of healing. There's that Senna ulti over the top. Can boil the oil. Finally, find the kill.
Nope.
He doesn't have flash. He can't find it. Jaxus rotating up. No solo kills allowed for Renekton. He might try to turn this around. I think he has to try and look for just a kill at some point. He finds the Gortrick healing, but it's not enough. My Dream LPL, with the support of his mid lane, will find another kill.
Damn.
This poor Renekton. Oh, man.
I feel for Boy the Oil. This has not been his series. And it happens, you know.
Draxler, maybe now the one in trouble. That Kingslayer and the chains won't find their mark, but he's going to force Draxler back over the wall. Now Debonair with his own Maokai ulti going to throw it across the enemy team. Excelsis is looking for an engaged Cryogun with a nice 3-man piercing light. They're going to keep Debonair alive with the Radiant Virtue. Oh, the healing! Silas does not fall! Cryogen finds shutdown gold, and now it's Snow stuck in the 1 versus 3. They'll donate the kill over to Zev. It's a beautiful collapse from Clown Gaming.
Once again, Debonair gets away with murder. Literally.
He did kill him, man.
Yeah. It's, you know, it is what it is. He is running this mid lane. I mean, again, Draxler is not even doing badly. You know, he's 2, 2, and 3. He's got decent farm. But there's a Silas just styling on his team.
Yeah, none of this is Draxler's fault. It has just been Debonair finding roams and finding plays, especially pairing up with Excelsis, making something happen on the map. And it's looked really good for Clown Gaming, even through their bottom lane, which has been shaky from time to time. They've had their struggles, but I think the Swain Senna combination is really working for them. And if they can find another shutdown on this Jinx, they can really start to pull ahead.
Absolutely. Now, kills are even. Gold's pretty much even. Where do you think that the game state goes from here?
I think the next objective fight really is going to be telling. It's going to be either around the Baron if some team wants to do a 20-minute T1 flip, or around this Dragon to see if Mad can look for Soul Point. But until that point, I think it should stay calm. I say that as, you know, over the course of this game, has anything ever stayed calm? As Boil the Oil is going to look for some damage now onto Draxler, but L1 LT isn't here to support. They got the anti-heal, so they'll be able to force the Renekton away, and again, this poor Renekton just cannot find anything. This poor man.
The man got croc blocked. It's rough.
Womp womp.
I said what I said.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let that one hang. You get to live with the consequences of that pun. It is going to be the Herald popped in the mid lane as Debonair is looking for some damage now.
Yeah, oh wait, the turret
The Aatrox is taking plenty of damage. There's a big Gore Trigger, but the anti-heal is on. They should be able to pick him up eventually. Cryogen finds that one. Now Excelsis looking for some damage onto Snow 2. Not exactly the target he wants. There's that Dawning Shadow over the top, finding some damage. Zev is a little bit low to look for an engage, but Debonair wants to keep the fight going. As Boil the Oil has teleported in, looking for some damage on the bottom side. Oh, Zev! Very low off that Shock Blast. The ulti from Jinx can't find the kill either. Excelsis is doing a great job body blocking for the team. Debonair still holding onto that Alistar ulti. He'll find one kill. Gonna pop that ulti for himself. Keep himself alive. Cryogen goes on a rampage. Debonair didn't even pop ulti. He still has it. Yeah, never mind. Ignore me.
He's just hanging out. And another turret goes down. Good job, guys.
More objectives, more gold going into the pockets of Clown Gaming, extending their gold lead to 2,500. Draxer, maybe he's gonna look for an interrupt here, but the teleports come, the recalls channel through. Everybody gets out.
Yeah, it's clean. Now, there's a 2,500 gold lead, a few kills in their favor. They should probably be fighting for this dragon that's coming
Oh,
up,
Celsius.
but they don't have a jungler.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
greeting for the Rift Scuttle Crab. I think that might have honestly been a potential Baron take for Mad. They're not going to opt for it. They're being a little bit slow on the draw, but now with the teleporter, actually, they're going to start it up. I think now it's a bit risky, as the members of Clown have teleported in. They're rotating through to this play. Debonair doesn't have the ulti for himself to make a play, but this Baron take is not as fast as they want it to be. There's that Maokai ulti looking for an engage. Zeb on the front line, but Debonair just does so much damage on the back half of the fight. Boil the Oil finds a kill and shutdown goal. Cryogen will eventually get picked up by the Aatrox. No, he'll survive! Manages to walk away from the play, and it's a clean ace for Clown Gaming off the Baron.
And now they have the option. Do they want to spend the next 3 years taking this Baron?
It looks like that's the call. They really want this objective. Debonair is going to push in the mid lane, and they're going to have the rest of the members opt for the Baron take.
Honestly, this is entirely going down because they have a Senna.
Yep.
Who has the board.
Block it again.
Yeah. I think a Blade of the Ruined King is really just doing this for them. Now, there is a dragon available. They probably don't want to give up.
Things being available, Debonair just happily spinning away in the 1 versus 2, gonna get the chains over the wall onto Snow. He's holding onto that ulti for quite a long while. I think he really wants to steal the Alistar ulti, but it's not gonna be available to him. Gonna grab the Maokai ulti instead, flash over the wall, but I think you are already dead, sir. Draxer finds a 900 gold shutdown.
Yeah, that was ambitious.
That's a word for it.
Probably didn't need to be there.
Ooh, Roots connecting. It's a nice 2-man pulverize, but it's just a dead cow. Dragon's going down fairly quickly, but not quickly enough. The rest of Clown Game is going to be able to rotate into this. Boil the Oil has that Dominus on, looking for some backline access. Levitate in the meantime is just stacking up that lethal tempo on Excelsis, doing plenty of damage to the rail. He'll get into the pit. He'll find the smite, finds the steal, and the kills start flying in favor of Clown Gaming. Levitate manages to escape off the bottom half of that fight, but it's Clown Gaming collapsing beautifully on the play.
So I checked. Boil the Oil did get a kill, but it was not on my Dream LPL. I'm waiting for that kill to happen. Come on, Boil. You got this. One time this whole series. Kill that man.
I'm not sure he's going to be able to, because it looks like they're trying to give the kills over to their bottom half of the map. They want the money on
Screw
Debonair,
the ADC,
on
screw the Swain, give the Croc the kill.
I do appreciate that Boil the Oil is not opting for any sort of split push build. He's looking to just bulk up, get some HP and some AD, play a health tank on the front line, be there as a potential threat for his backliners to play through. That's really the kind of build that you want to see out of the Renekton.
Let's see. As we're looking through this this build, you know what I'm seeing kind of missing from everyone?
Oh, and that's put on a pause. Cryogen maybe getting engaged on. It's a beautiful pulverize from Storm, from Snow to keep his team safe. There's that Dominus from Boil the Oil. He's getting stunned up on the front line. My Dream LPL doing plenty of damage, healing up, but it's just the members of Clown Gaming that little bit healthier. The Radiant Virtues, the Demon Flares doing so much work. Excelsis is going to tank up the towers. Draxler is going to knock him away, but it does not matter. It's a double kill for the Silas. It's another clean ace for Clown Gaming. And with Baron buff and an inhib down in mid lane, they're going to look to finish it.
Yep, there's 4 seconds on an Alistar, who, that's a champion. 5 seconds on Maokai. Maybe if Alistar can get a good knockup. Nope, he's going to walk in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I think the game is
they
just
gave up
on Cloud Gaming after what was a rough game 1. Claw their way back in the series and finish it out 2-1 and advance on into the bracket.
Great stuff coming out from Clown Gaming. We got to see them getting cleaner and cleaner with their leads as they moved on. Eventually, you had to take some turrets, and I'm proud of you guys. So,
It feels like a mean way to put it, but yeah, they cleaned up their play. The first game was very rough. They had difficulties finishing out their game, advancing their snowball, but game 2 and game 3 was a lot cleaner for them. And that game 3 finished in under 25 minutes. That's exactly the kind of play you want to be seeing from an early game snowball comp. You want to get out of control. You want to push your leads and take those damn objectives.
yeah, you've got to do something if you want to get out of this lower bracket run. Honestly, this was the kind of gameplay you wanted to see. You just want to kind of clean up the edges a little bit. They're getting leads. They're getting leads so much that they're throwing half of them and still winning. So, like, I know I sound like I'm just trying to be mean. I'm not. I really truly think that this clown gaming team has a lot of potential to actually go pretty far in this tournament. I just want to see them play it just a little bit smarter in some of these lead scenarios. But otherwise, great job from Clown Gaming to take the win against Mirage Alliance Developmental.
Yeah, it was a great show for Mirage as well. That game 1 looked very much in their favor. They knew the kind of draft they wanted to play for, but Cloud Gaming were just slightly better on the day, executing that little bit better, drafting for their own style that little bit more. I'm really hoping to see this Cloud Gaming roster make a deep run in this lower bracket, maybe even move back up to that upper bracket, try and find themselves a sneaky victory, get themselves in that grand finals. But already being potentially top 8 in the entire league of the ACL, you gotta be feeling pretty good about that overall.
Yeah, they're looking like a good team. They playing like a good team. They just have to finish it out like a good team.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. This is going to be the end of our broadcast. I've been What's Too Birdie. That's been All Rum. We've had Northward on the production behind us, making sure that everything goes smoothly. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.